The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Darren Mougey is promising a quick turnaround for the New York Jets. We'll talk about that and much more. Joe Blewett will be with us. He's also going to do a film review on Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore. Keep it right here. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
I let the organization down, and I let the players down, and that burns me. It really does. This season's on me, and we're going to work our ass off to get this shit exactly where it needs to be.
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. It's right over there to support the show. Hey, I have an exciting announcement I want to make. If you're a Patreon user, you already know if you check the Discord. This Sunday, we're doing a watch party for the NFL playoffs at T-Squared Social. Join me and John Jastrzemski from SNY, and he's the host of the Ringers New York podcast. We're going to be hanging out starting at 1 o'clock at T-Squared Social this Sunday, watching the first game of the day, which is the Jaguars and the Bills. We will obviously be rooting for the Jaguars in that one, but it's a great venue. I've been working with T-Squared now the last couple of years doing events there. It's a free event. Just show up. I'll be hanging out with JJ, and we'll be watching the games together starting at 1 o'clock. So T-Squared Social for the Bills and the Jags this upcoming Sunday. I'll probably have an RSVP link so we could do a halftime raffle. I'm still working through the details. This is a last-minute thing with T-Squared, but brand new watch party. You don't have to actually worry about the Jets winning or losing because they're not playing. So we can just root for the Jaguars all together, hang out, good food, great drinks. T-Squared's located right in Midtown, right next to Grand Central, so easy to get to. We'll have more info this week. But again, Sunday, 1 o'clock. See you there at T-Squared Social. Let's say hello right now, too. It's our guy, Joe Blewett. Joe, the New York Jets season is finally over, and it really now becomes Joe Blewett season because you're going to be breaking down prospect after prospect on tape, and we're going to do some of that later on in this show because we got QB to break down. And this week, Simpson versus Mendoza head-to-head. I mean, a lot happening in the Joe Blewett film universe.
Yeah, Simpson versus Mendoza. We got Moore versus Mendoza on Friday, I believe. So I'm so excited the season's over. I have one more film review to do tonight of this season for the Jets, and my God, I'm ready to get to 2026 and some of the draft prospects and free agents and all of that stuff. But yeah, exciting times. Now we get to kind of sell ourselves on the future of the Jets, get all excited, and then we kind of all know what may happen in 2026.
It just never ends. But I'll tell you what, the offseason usually does provide hope, and that's where we'll start. So both Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey, they met with the media today, which means Aaron Glenn is coming back. You won't let the head coach meet with the media if you then plan on firing him at any point. So Aaron Glenn back. We know Darren Mougey, the general manager, back. So they're going into year 2. And I thought it would be interesting certainly to hear from Mougey because we haven't heard from him all year, right? We heard from him at the trade deadline, but at that time, the Jets weren't on their way to being 3-14 and everything that happened in the month of December. So for the first time, we heard from Mougey. And I thought the highlight of the presser came when Bruce Beck asked him a question about how quickly the Jets can be competitive and respectable.
Darren, how long do you think it will take to be competitive, to be respectable?
I believe we can be competitive and respectable right away next year.
What gives you
How-
that? You said,
how
yeah,
can you
what
do
gives you
that?
that confidence? You said earlier that you're the most confident. You have more confidence now than ever. What gives you the confidence?
Because I've been here a year, I've learned a lot. We've learned a lot. I've got a clear vision. AG and I, like we said, we talk daily on this roster and the vision in this division. And with the assets we have moving forward, the draft capital, the cap space, I know we're going to continue to build and add good players to the team that are going to help us win.
Okay, Joe Blewett, what do you make of that from a Jets general manager going into year 2?
I feel like I heard the same thing from Aaron Glenn in the beginning of this season. You know, the trust us stuff, and we're here to win, and we're here to win now. And then it's, I didn't say that right now, or the proud of us stuff. So they're speaking with like nothing to actually grab onto. It's all just pretty much like you said before the show. It's like just trust me, trust what we're going to do. There's no actual like, well, this is exactly how we're going to address it. These are the exact issues we saw with their coaching staff. This is exact schematic problems we had. It's all just like kind of all encapsulating things that don't really like point to anything specific that they're going to improve. So it's more like Glenn the other day, just trust them. We're going to go from a historically bad team to being competitive with no like specific examples of why exactly. So I'm obviously not buying it, and no Jets fan should buy it until we actually see the results in September and October, because the Jets do a great job of hyping us up all offseason, and we all buy into it, and we all jump our win expectations up 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wins, convince ourselves this is the year we get into the playoffs, and then September and October happens of every year. So I'm not buying anything that they say for the next 6 months or whatever it is until the season. They have to prove it to me, and it starts by getting some good coaching hires, in this offseason. We'll see how much pull they have around the league, what the coaches around the league think about this Jets front office and coaching staff, and if they're lame ducks or not, if they buy the vision. It starts in a few weeks, obviously, with the hires and some of the free agent stuff, but it matters in September. I'm not buying it January 6th, 3-4 days after the season, whatever it is.
Yeah, again, I mean, Mougey's kind of been reserved when we've heard him speak, so I like how he's up there saying, yeah, like we're going to turn it around. But again, we've heard this from coaches and GMs over the years. It doesn't matter. Now, it is notable, like they're going into year 2, but year 1 was so bad that they understand, at least they better understand, that they got to not just be like a little better. Like improvement is not, hey, you went from 3 wins to 5 wins. Like this team's got to be in the mix. They got to be in the hunt in December next year. They got to be 6-6 in my mind through their first 6 games or 12 games of the year. Like they got to be relevant. No one's asking for the Super Bowl. No one's asking to go on a deep playoff run, but the season can't be over because you got up to an 0-7 start, or you start 1-5, and we're the Titans from last year when Aaron Glenn is then out of a job. Like I thought, hearing this from Mougey, ultimately it doesn't matter, but I like the confidence. Like, no, like we're going to be able to turn this around quick. We got the resources. We plan to be competitive and respectable. Like, I don't know. I like hearing that from Mougey, because if I'm him, I'm doing everything I can to separate myself from the coach, because I think Mougey certainly adequated himself a lot better in year 1 than obviously Aaron Glenn did.
Yeah, no, there was actually some good moves he made. Obviously, I know you talk about it a lot, but the Briggs and the Phillips and the Brownlees and all of those moves. So I think obviously a lot more fans are positive on his outlook going forward versus Glenn's. But again, it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, I like the confidence, but realistically, if they suck in September and October, none of this matters anyway. So he has to prove it and get a good staff around Glenn. We'll see what happens with the offensive staff hires if they get rid of London, which if they don't, and we go into another year with Glenn and London, I'm gonna have zero hope no matter what happens in the draft and free agency.
The great Charles London, quarterback coach, who was a running back for most of his career and coach.
It starts in a week or two. Who do you bring in as DC? Do you get rid of Engstrand? Do you not get rid of Engstrand? Do you bring in like an offensive assistant for Engstrand, like which you probably should have done right off the jump, considering he's a rookie OC. They didn't do anything like that. So it all starts now. Me personally, I really couldn't care less about the raw buy into it type stuff. And yeah, I like that Mougey's a little bit more aggressive, where it seems like Glenn the last couple of days has been a little bit more reserved. And obviously he's more reserved now than he was in the beginning of his tenure with the Jets, but it seems like Mougey still has that confidence, which I like. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter January 6th, 7 months, 8 months before the season starts. It doesn't to me, but I'll give a thumbs up for the confidence.
Now we get to Aaron Glenn. He decided he couldn't just let Mougey answer that question. He had to jump in and weigh in as well.
And let me answer that also. As a rookie head coach and same thing as a GM, man, going through the first year and really understanding the landscape of everything, like that's a huge deal. I will tell you that right now. And speaking of myself, man, there's a number of things I know that I'll be better at. And again, I'm still doing self-reflection, but I know for a fact there are a number of things. And the confidence that I have in Mougey, the confidence I have in our owner, the confidence I have in myself, the confidence I have in some of the foundational players that we have, that's where the confidence really comes from, if that makes sense. And there is a clear vision. There's a clear plan on how we want to go about doing things. And you match that with Mougey, with our owner, the confidence I have in myself with some of the foundational players that we have, that in itself, to me, gives like all the confidence in the world, man, that we're going to go in the right direction. Now, there's some things we got to fix. Absolutely, we know that, and we'll fix those. We'll attack those the way we have to. But overall, man, I have all the confidence in the world that we're going to do the things we have to do to be successful.
He's essentially admitting he was in over his head as a rookie head coach there. Like he came in all brash, peacocking, taking shots at Salah's staff for what went down previously. And he's essentially admitting there, man, I didn't realize what I was getting into, which this is not a specific criticism of Glenn. This was why you and I were aligned in not hiring a first-time head coach, especially one with a defensive background who sucks as a defensive coordinator and did nothing to help Steve Wilks, who was even worse than him when he hired him. So it's really frustrating to hear that. There's nothing we could do about it now. He's coming back, so I will root for Aaron Glenn to figure out how to be a good head coach. But again, an answer like that, that's why it is so frustrating to be a fan of this team, because he came in, talked this talk, didn't back any of it up, and is now falling on the, I was a rookie head coach going through it. Now it's all going to magically be different because I have a year of experience underneath me.
Yeah, I like I said to you before, I work midnight, so I quite literally just got up before the show, so I didn't see the full transcript. But did anybody follow up to that question? Like, what are your specific examples of what you could improve? Because like it's great when you say, yeah, I have a bunch of things that I can improve on that I know I'll improve on. Okay, well, tell me what those things are. Like, there's no examples of exactly what you can improve. Like, at least Ulbrich last year was like, hey, I should have delegated some of the responsibility. It was too much on my plate. But Glenn, you can't just tell me, oh yeah, well, I have a bunch of examples of what it is. Then tell me, like, give me some confidence that you know what you're doing, other than just like saying and trust me, bro. Like, that gives me no confidence. Tell me exactly what went wrong. Like, the Jets fans deserve that. I think the team deserves that. But when you just say without getting examples, it holds no weight to me. So I don't know if anybody followed up with that. I feel like our beat reporters don't necessarily follow up all the time, but like in a job interview, they would ask you, okay, well, tell me what the examples are. Why are you leaving that out? So he left it out, I'm assuming. Great. Thanks, Glenn.
I mean, they asked him some specifics on, what they're going to try and do better. And someone asked him about the Steve Wilks hire, and he said he was a previous head coach. They wanted someone with experience. I mean, Glenn talked about that. But again, you never get specifics with Aaron Glenn because I don't think he actually has a plan. I think he needs to rely on Darren Mougey to be really, really good at his job this offseason. I think that's a big part of this. Like, the idea that Glenn is going to be able to hire this unbelievable staff, I'm not so sure. Like, again, like, I think we get a real good idea how this year is going to go pretty quickly over the next few weeks. Who's the DC? What staffing adjustments they do on offense? I don't know how you feel. I saw Cliff Kingsbury got let go today by the Commanders. Apparently, Dan Quinn wants to run the football more, like it's Aaron Glenn football stuck in the 1990s and early 2000s. Like, again, if you could upgrade from Engstrand to Cliff Kingsbury, a proven offensive guy with a young quarterback, that would make a ton of sense. But again, like, these are the things you got to see. Like, can Aaron Glenn actually recognize his philosophy is stuck in an outdated version of what the NFL is and try and adapt? But there's no evidence about that, because I think the coaching staff hires, that's the biggest thing Glenn has to get right, because we know he's not coordinating the defense. We know he's not a strategist. So he's got to get good coaches. And he hired a terrible coaching staff outside of Banjo for the most part with his first season.
Yeah, it's just a thing where, and we've spoken about this in the past, but like, what coach is going to want to come here necessarily? Like, unless you have like the utmost confidence in yourself, like, hey, I'm just going to go there, I'm going to dominate with Dante Moore or whoever it's going to be, and then if he gets fired, I'll be the new head coach. Like, if you have that confidence in yourself, great. But a bunch of spots just opened around the NFL. So what makes you want to tie yourself to what this was in 1 year? Like, if I'm Kingsbury, I love the Jets and everything, obviously, but being realistic, like, is this going to be probably the last place or one of the last places I want to go? I know we have the resources. I know we have some talent on the team. I do think people overlooked that we do have the offensive line and we have some weapons, etc. But based on what happened and the numbers of how bad this was this year, if I'm Cliff Kingsbury, do I want to sign up to come to the Jets? Probably not, So I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I don't think it's a spot that nobody's going to come to, but I don't think you're going to get the top of the top candidates either. So I'm kind of like a fence sitter. I'm kind of in the middle on that one, but I think a Cliff Kingsbury would be relatively highly sought after. So what do you even come to the Jets? That's the big question. That's what I was speaking about. Like, hey, Mougey, prove to me, or and Glenn convinced some of these guys with good reputations around the NFL to come here, because a lot of the Jets staff and they made the same mistake they've been making in years past. Obviously, with the defensive coordinator hire, but like offense, Charles London, relatively inexperienced, Engstrand, inexperienced, Hayden, even though he's done fine, rookie O-line coach. So, can they bring in a staff that builds confidence from Jets fans and the team in general?
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. If you missed our first show earlier, we did announce the winners of the Asmaniac raffle for Raffle 55. We're on to Raffle 56. Here's your first chance to get in for a signed, framed, collectible Super Bowl III ticket. You can see all that's included with it. The game score, it's already in the frame. I'll send it to you. That's the top prize. It's Super Bowl III themed week on the show. Next week's the 57th anniversary of the Jets Super Bowl III win. Prize 2 is a signed Broadway Joe Namath helmet. Hell yeah. And prize 3 is a replica Joe Namath ring. Make sure you enter for your chance to win by gifting a membership or sending in a $10 super chat or higher. End of the show today. Let's start it off right. Joe Namath jersey, Joe Klecko jersey, Curtis Martin jersey, Wayne Corbett, Darrell Revis, Nick Mangold, and Keyshawn Johnson are your choices for a Jets jersey if you want to enter our daily raffle at the end of the show. Comments, questions, super chats, they cut the line. We'll get to those coming up. When I'm listening to Glenn talk, and he had a line today that was just super frustrating when he was basically asked, why, what's your message to fans? And rather than saying we have to earn their trust, the first thing he says is that he wants them to have complete trust in him and Mougey. And then he said, and we also have to earn that. And I'm like, dude, it's the other way around. The only thing you should be saying is, thank God I have a job. Everyone with a brain thinks I should have been fired, right? I listened to Marcus Spears, who knows Aaron Glenn well. I think they overlapped in Dallas at the end of Glenn's career. Marcus Spears, who's a friend of Aaron Glenn, said, I got to be honest, he did everything you would do if you're going to be a one-and-done coach. He's lucky to still have a job. Damian Woody said the same thing. People that either were former Jets or know him, no one's defending this guy other than the delusional morons on Twitter.
Yeah.
He's
Victor
lucky
Green.
Yeah, even Victor Green was like, this was an abomination of a football we watched this year.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he's up there. I don't know if he fully gets it, Joe. That's my fear. There's no way we should be blindly trusting you. You don't get to say, trust me, bro, after that type of BS. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not buying the BS. Again, if you were to give me more specific examples of what they're going to do to make me trust them, then okay, I would buy in a little bit, but just trust me, bro, overall. How do you buy into it after what this year was? I know
it's hard to say. Just trust me, have faith in what we're doing.
Why? Why? For what reason? What did you do this year? What are you doing going forward to earn said trust? So, sure, yeah, thanks, man. Historical point differentials in December, etc. Just trust me, bro. It's not enough. And I listen. And I know you've probably spoke about this too. And the hate on Twitter is ridiculous. I see so much of it. It's ridiculous. But I see it. But there's a level to tanking, right? You're not supposed to be one of the worst teams ever in the NFL. I understand you're trying to lose, and yeah, they probably could have played Tyrod or whatever it may have been, and maybe some guys were healthy, maybe Will McDonald was healthy, but at the same time, having a historical point differential in December is a new level of bad. This was historically bad. So yeah, just trust me. Is definitely not enough for me, and it shouldn't be enough for any fan.
Comments, questions, super chats, they cut the line. We will get into plenty of your questions. So if you have something for Joe and I, please write it in and we will get to it. It's tough to sit here and have total faith again as we move forward. Hopefully, Aaron Glenn proves us wrong. Now, Mougey says they could turn it around. He referenced the resources. That's obviously part of it. Your thoughts as we enter the offseason, Joe, beyond Glenn getting the coaching staff situation figured out. what's the approach in free agency? How does that impact what they do in the draft? Like if you're taking like a big picture view, starting to look ahead to what needs to get done, where are the areas you think Darren Mougey needs to get to work the most?
Yeah. I think it's a thing where you try to address as many holes as you can in free agency. So it really allows you to have true flexibility in the draft to draft BPA. Like that's usually where I sit now. Who's available specifically in free agency? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's the strongest class in the world in free agency. So we'll see what happens. But obviously you have to attack wide receiver 2. Is there a wide receiver 2 out there in free agency? Is there a different starting interior offensive lineman that you want? Because, while I like the continuity of Simpson and Myers and all that stuff, one, you have to hope that the Jets do not buy into Myers being a starter. Like he's a high level backup. That's what he was brought in here to be. And that's what he was. His numbers were not great for being a starter. Simpson regressed this year, but I think you need at least one new interior offensive lineman, a receiver. I really want to add like a dual threat tight end to this roster. Having like a true dual threat tight end who can block and who can receive the ball is huge, and I think underrated for offenses. So if they could bring in that, great. And then on the defensive side, we all know they need pretty much everything: edge, some D tackle, depth, safety, linebacker. So I think you try to plug as many holes as you possibly can to give yourself the best flexibility again. Specifically who, I don't know. And how do you convince players to come here? I do not know, but I'm hoping they can get some players that aren't the Laken Tomlinsons, CJ Uzamas of the world. Andre Sisco, which I still have no idea how he got $10 million after getting benched for his last 2-3 games or whatever it was in Jacksonville. So let's make smart free agency decisions. And that's a thing where I think I'll be on the show during that time. I'll watch the film of those guys and I'll tell you right off the jump. And sometimes it's not popular because I remember everybody glazing up Jordan Whitehead and I watched him. I'm like, this guy sucks. And I got some heat for it. So we'll see. Let's see the coaches they bring in, and let's see some of these free agents that they're able to attract if anybody.
I expect and want our fans to have total trust in us, Aaron Glenn said. Jet fans, do you trust Aaron Glenn, Mr. Accountability?
And I know it's hard to say. Just trust me, have faith in what we're doing.
Okay. Some other takeaways from the presser. We talked about Mougey being confident in the resources. We mentioned the trust stuff. They were asked about Breece Hall, and they said that they want to keep good players. Mougey said 24-year-old Breece is a, quote, good player, and I want to keep good players. Does that mean a long-term contract will be discussed? Question mark. Quote, I met with Breece yesterday and had some good conversations. It sounded to me like they want to keep Breece, but they're not going to go overboard in paying him long-term. I think the franchise tag is definitely an option for the Jets if they're going to try and keep Breece.
Yeah, they're stuck in kind of a hard spot because I think they'd be like kind of dumb to over, like to a certain extent they'd be kind of stupid to overpay him because it's a running back. I do think he's closer to average than he is to being a top 5 running back. That's my opinion of him. I don't, and maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm old man, get off my lawn at 32 years old or not. I don't love the way that Breece is on social media. Like today, posed like, oh, I thought I was slow because he hears all the stuff from Jets fans that he's slow and he lost explosion. So I don't think he's the most mature guy in the entire world, but at the same time, you have egg on your face if you don't get him back, right? Because we could have had a 4th round draft pick for him apparently at the trade deadline from the Chiefs if that report is true. So they're not going to get a comp pick for him walking because they're going to offset with the contracts that they get. So they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place with him where they may have to overpay him a little bit to save that egg on their face. And again, even though I do think he's just plus average, I don't think he's like a superstar, an elite running back in my personal opinion. I would like to bring him back because let's make it as easy as we possibly can for a Dante Moore, a Mendoza, whoever it may be. Even though I do think that if they bring him back, they're going to have to overpay him a little bit because I don't think Breece wants to be here at all, just based on the body language and what he puts out on Twitter. I don't think he likes Jets fans. I don't think he likes the Jets. So they're going to have to almost force him to be here with like the transition. Is it the transition tag or franchise tag or whatever it may be? I do think a franchise tag is probably too high for what Breece actually is as a player. But listen, if you got to eat $1 to $4 million to keep a good player around, it is what it is. They have plenty of money going forward. Might not be the smartest thing in the world, but at the same time, not getting rid of him for a 4th round pick is also going to be stupid if you don't plan on re-signing him.
If Breece was smart, he would look to go elsewhere. Because again, until we see what the plans are offensively, and the quarterback is likely to be a rookie at some point, even if that guy is not starting right away, if they bring in a Kirk Cousins or Marcus Mariota type, like it's tough to picture this being a very good offense next year unless they catch lightning in the bottle with Dante Moore, or they catch lightning in the bottle with Fernando Mendoza, and that guy's great right away, like Stroud was, like Jaden Daniels was, and even some of that had to do with coaching, you would think. And, well, right now, despite Aaron Glenn telling us the Jets would be a team built around player development, we have not seen that.
Coaching. It's coaching.
What do you mean?
Because he can do it. It's just coaching. That's all it is.
Coaching, man. It's coaching, Joe, you know.
It's just so unnecessary to like go at guys like Tomlin in your first couple months as a head coach, you know, in terms of like Justin Fields or Saleh, who again, you know, not a great head coach, but at least he had good defenses. Just like I said with Gase, at least he had good opening drive scripts, you know, in his years with the Jets. So they are very unnecessary, and now it just looks like, and for good reason, he's been neutered. And I don't know, man. Like, we you know, looking like a harder schedule, you know, next year. As of, you know, January 6th, and obviously a lot can change going forward. But I think a lot of people feel like, okay, you're going to start 1-4, 1-5, 1-6, and then new coach is going to be, you know, is going to be brought in. You have some winnable games at home, obviously. Okay, yeah, you know, Raiders, Browns, Vikings, all right, cool. Road,
you know, they're going to get Kansas City though early.
Hard,
Mahomes, fresh off the ACL, you know, homecoming game for him. Beat up on the Jets, he's back. Woohoo! And you can see them getting, you know, an early Bills or Patriots spot on the schedule. Like, it's not going to be easy, man. Like, even if they play some of the bad teams early in the first four, like, again, Aaron Glenn, if we're doing a draft of coaches in the NFL right now, by the time we're done with this hiring cycle, would probably be in the bottom three, depending on how things shake out. And depending on who the quarterback is, whether it's Marcus Mariota or Kirk Cousins or a rookie, and that quarterback will be picked near the bottom just based on either the veteran history of that player or a rookie for obvious reasons. So in how many games are the Jets going to have either a quarterback or coach advantage next year? Like, that's the problem when you really break it down.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It doesn't look like the easiest schedule, because like even Arizona, like a team that they should be able to beat, like the last couple of years they went to Arizona, they get just absolutely stomped there for whatever reason. The Jets have never been great on the road. They're not great at home, obviously either, so not going to be great on the road. But like you said, you might be generous with bottom three. Who in the NFL would you want below Glenn? Like all the guys who sucked are gonna be new coaches, so at least there's the hope of the new coach.
You hear that, everyone? Joe Blewett is more negative on Aaron Glenn than I am. Think about that. I gave Glenn bottom three. Joe Blewett's like, F that, man. He's 32nd out of 32nd.
What are you that who is the quote? I'm a man, I'm 40, come after me. So that's me to the Twitter trolls out there. Come after me. I can handle it.
You're going Mike Gundy on us.
Yeah, I gotta take some of the heat for the dude. It is what it is with the Twitter followers. Like, it's whether it be Nania, and I'm not comparing you to Nania, but when you have a lot of followers, people are gonna take their anger out on you. Some of the stuff I see on Twitter is just laughable. It really is. But yeah, I'm a man. I'm 32, so come at me. He's the worst coach in the NFL.
I mean, sadly, you're not wrong. And like, we went from like the brash bravado to like just like the guy was nearly crying in his post-game presser on Sunday. Like, it's just sad.
Yeah. I would feel so much more comfortable with the reset. Hey, you got 5 first-round draft picks. We have how many seconds next couple of years, like 3 or 4 draft picks there. You got $100 million this year, $100 million next year, new quarterback coming in. It would be so nice to get a nice reset and kind of go into this offseason fresh. But here we are. You know, there was just like Raheem Morris, right? The Falcons just like barely missed the playoffs. Like they were competing for that division. He gets fired. Like there's coaches who are better than Glenn who have been fired this offseason. But
Raheem Morris, if he just beat the Jets, they're in the playoffs.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, that's why. And the Jets have the first overall pick in that instance, right? So wild. Even though maybe the Raiders don't go for the Chiefs game as hard if they know that's the situation or whatever it may be. But you see the Raiders winning with a bunch of guys on the bench and stuff, game-winning field goal to the Chiefs backups, and the Jets are down.
They almost beat the Texans when they were tanking, right? They almost beat the Texans in their second or third to last game of the season.
Yeah, and what the Jets were down to Mitch Trubisky and a bunch of backups. So it was like 29-0. I think 28-0, like relatively early on into the third quarter. You know, the Bills are not playing Cook. They're not playing offensive linemen. It's Mitch Trubisky. It's a bunch of backup receivers, even though the Bills don't have great ones in general. But like, that's the point. Like versus the Bills backups, what I expect at least somewhat of a game like Vegas did, right? 7.5 points, 8, whatever it ended up being at, and you're getting blown out, like not even remotely competitive, and it's okay with people because that's the tank. Again, I understand, if you want to tank, you want to lose, you can't have it both ways necessarily, but I don't expect a historically bad December, historically bad season, no picks. It's just what do we hang on to other than the rope hanging on to us, like we've been saying?
Hold on. You forgot the most important aspect, though. We hang on to the fact that there were 0 blocked field goals all year, Joe Blewett. We are the field goal protection champion. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, which I believe I saw the stat, it was like a third of the league did that as well, right? So cool. Like if you're so good at special teams, great. We can hang on to the special teams coordinator because unless he makes, unless he gets a promotion, he's here. Like we hung on to coaches, our special teams coaches throughout different coaching cycles, whatever it may be. So hang on to what's his face if that's the case, if we're so positive on special teams. And the other thing was penalties, great. We went from 31 to 23. That is a substantial leap. I am so excited about that. That's what I'm gonna hang my hat on. 31 to 23. And like you rather have no penalties, or you rather obviously like be good in that category and not have them, but there's no correlation to penalties and good teams. Like I think the Jaguars are near top of the league. And a lot of teams in the past are high in penalties and are still good teams. So like whoop-de-doo. Thank you, Aaron Glenn.
Thank you to the great Aaron Glenn, who, of course, now will be picking our next quarterback, Joe Blewett, as we're about to get into some film review. But here's what Aaron Glenn is always looking for in his quarterback.
What do you look for in a quarterback? Like, what's an Aaron Glenn quarterback?
A winner.
So that's why we signed Justin Fields, who has the worst winning percentage of any quarterback that has started the amount of games he has started.
Yeah. Hopefully the new quarterback can actually be a winner, and luckily some of these guys are. Mendoza's winning some good games. Obviously, Moore is winning some games. He's making it far into the playoffs now. Simpson, like I said to you before, I don't know if you heard his elbow. I think it was his elbow in the Oklahoma game, which explains some of the inaccuracies he's had the last 3 weeks. It'll be interesting to see what happens with him if he declares. I heard some rumors. I don't know if it's just crap that was on my Twitter or not, but like he may be looking for the transfer portal for like an LSU. I don't know if there's any legs to that at all. You have Trinidad who seemingly going back to school, Beck. So yeah, let's hope the new quarterback can actually be a winner. For the Jets, we need it more than literally any other fan base in all of North American sports, because we had the longest drought of all those teams. And is the longest ever like 17? The Bills 17-18, right? So we're approaching again new territory in terms of the drought as well. So let's break some more records.
Yeah, the Bills was 17. I think the Cardinals were even longer. It was like 22 or something. But again, I saw this graphic today. Like, just look where the Jets are compared to the rest of the league. 15 years for the Jets, by far the longest in the NFL. Atlanta's at 8, and they just fired their coach after going 8-9. The Jets haven't won 8 games in a year in 10 years. And Atlanta's like, we need to fire our coach. We need to be better. And the Jets are like, hey, we got Aaron Glenn. Let's give him another year, baby. He knows what he's doing. Yeah.
Just don't let go of the rope.
It's such a joke. But anyway, the Colts 5 years, Saints 5 years, Cardinals 4, they fired their coach. Vegas 4, they're going to have a new coach. Tennessee 4, they're going to have a new coach. All these teams with playoff droughts are firing their coaches. And then we have Mr. Accountability coming back for another year.
Coaching. It's coaching. What do you mean? Because he can do it. It's just coaching. That's all it is.
Pain. I hope Glenn proves us wrong. But again, there's no reason to feel confident. But, all we have is hope. We got to trust Aaron Glenn because he told us to.
Yeah, we've been hoping for, I don't know, like we would do some dirty things for 8 wins. Like it's funny. It's funny to like see people on Twitter.
Calm your freaky down.
It's true, dude. Like 8 wins that I do some nasty. Like I don't even care about this game. Like there was, and again, like obviously I'm very into football, right? I'm very into the Jets, but like there was portions of this game where my kid's running around where usually I'm like, okay, he runs around, he does whatever. Hopefully mom grabs him. This game, like I missed like chunks of it. 'Cause I know I was going back and watching it the next day. I have not like missed snaps, kind of not on purpose, but knowingly in many years, and I just could not care the last month or two of this season less than I did. So it would be nice to have new hope and a little bit of a refresh, but But here we are, man. 8 wins sounds nice. Oh yeah, the thing I was going to say on Twitter was like, people are like, oh, the negativity sells, and all the content creators want to be negative. Like if you look at the numbers from what it is when there's positivity to negativity, nobody wants this. Nobody wants the negativity. My numbers are down probably like 80%, like if not higher at times. So yeah, I love this. Thank you, Jets. You're doing wonders for my channel right now.
I'll tell you what, I love Janice Jett, who I got to meet in Tampa this year. She is the first to give us a 20 spot, I believe, in the year of 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, 20 raffle entries for Janice.
Get your ass off my super chats. Some of these are gifted memberships too.
Hey.
The hell with it.
Oh, yeah. Grab your umbrellas. It's raining channel memberships. It's raining Gustbuster umbrellas, baby. Here we go. Papayito Lou, Fire Aaron Glenn. I agree. C. Wainen, Ida Caesar, John Rubio, Jack Black, FNG Gria, Todd Groves, Doko Bella, Medic 429, Matt Burns, Revere Ramana Bates, Dan Rather, Michael Narrow, M. Villette, Wagons Way, that's Chuck Wagon, Florida Man of Culture, Tattoos by Kevin McDermott, all receiving a gifted membership from the amazing Janice Jett. Let's go, Janice. Don't let go of that rope, baby.
Just don't let go of the rope.
Nothing like it. All right. We're going to get to the film review with Joe coming up. Let's get caught up on some super chats, and then let's look at some Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore, and Ty Simpson film from their most recent performances in the college football playoff. Let's start it off with Mace B, who says, Bo and Darnold 2 games away from the Super Bowl. I have a feeling Texans, Seahawks, Super Bowl because of elite defenses. What you got? Ooh, this is tough. I'm rooting for either the Steelers or for the Seahawks to win the whole thing. I'd love to see Sam win. Obviously, I'm a fan of Rodgers. Would love to see him go out a winner. And I'm rooting for anyone that's playing Buffalo and New England. Who do I think wins the whole thing? Man, it's tricky. I'm going to say, I don't know. Ask me later this week, Mace. I got to really go through the matchups more. I don't know. I'm going to cower it out and not give a pick just yet.
Yeah, I would say like for who I'm rooting for, it's I tend to root for the teams who've been miserable, who have miserable fan bases as well, just because I know their pain. So I would say I'm rooting for the Jaguars. I'm completely opposite. I can't root for ex-Jets. I just can't do it. So I would like to see the Steelers lose in round 1. and Darnold, I don't really care so much. Well, he can't lose in round 1 because they have the bye, which is wild. 28 wins in 2 seasons? That's crazy. But I'm rooting for the Jags. They have a miserable fan base, and then in the NFC, give me the Bears or the Panthers because obviously they've been tortured as well. So that's who I'll be rooting for. In terms of like who wins, I'd have to look at it more in like the individual matchups and what I think. But I think the Pats have a good shot, which I'm scared about. And then obviously, teams like the Eagles, Rams, with good coaching staffs and who have been here before are major threats in the NFC.
By the way, if you're betting on these games, you better do it with FanDuel Sportsbook. They're our presenting sponsor, and they are the official sportsbook of the Jake Asman Show. More super chats here. Medic says, get ready for another 3-14 season. Nothing's going to change. Trust me, bro.
And I know it's hard to say. Just trust me, have faith in what we're doing.
So that was from Sunday. I read part of Glenn's quote from today with the trust, but for those who missed it, here was Mr. Accountability on the trust.
And I expect and I will want our fans to have a total trust in us and being able to do that. And we have to earn that too. And I'll play.
No. You have to go out there and give us a reason to trust you. It's not the other way around. He says they should trust us for now, man. Not when you're this inept at 3-14 and you looked every bit like a one and done coach.
And to do that. And we don't expect to have another season like this here.
Better not.
So we're looking forward to this off season. Looking forward to getting to work and using the draft capital that we have and the money we have in free agency to continue to build what we've been trying to build.
Okay.
Which is what?
Trust me, bro. Pino says a caller on the radio made a good point. AG's close with Parcells and is out of the question. Parcells is in Woody's ear, keeping AG employed after this. I don't know who Woody talks to. Again, Glenn's relationship with Parcells is not relevant because Bill Parcells is not relevant in 2026. He's not.
No.
Don't give me the Bill Parcells was bad his first year too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different world. The numbers say the odds of Aaron Glenn being a good head coach are astronomically low. From 01 to 2025, so that's 25 seasons of data here, 29 first-time head coaches won 4 or fewer games in their first season. Glenn's now part of that group. Only 2 of the previous 28 went on to win a playoff game in their careers. It's Zach Taylor and Dan Campbell. People will say, the Lions, the Jets are nothing like the Dan Campbell Lions. What are the Lions without Ben Johnson, for example? They missed the playoffs this year. And guess what? Zach Taylor, he has Joe Burrow, a Hall of Fame quarterback. So if you're telling me Glenn's going to get a Hall of Fame quarterback, then yes, he can win a playoff game as a Jet coach one day too. But we're talking about a team that set records of ineptitude this year on top of the 3 wins. They didn't have a pick all season. That's never happened in the history of the NFL. They became the first team to ever be blown out 5 straight games by at least 23 or more. They went 0-6 in their division, losing by an average of 20 points. Second worst divisional point differential since the 2009 Rams. Second worst in the current division alignment. There's just no evidence he has any idea what he's doing. People are flabbergasted, not Jet fans, not the Glenn truthers, but people who just cover the league are shocked Aaron Glenn was not one and done.
Yeah, like you said, I don't think Joe Burrow's walking in here. I think Zach Taylor was in the hot seat before that. So if it wasn't for Joe Burrow, he's probably not even an NFL coach. The Lions missed the playoffs because the Dan Campbell rah stuff is great. I know Savo's hit on this plenty because he's been hitting on it plenty on Jet X. It's about the X's and O's. It's about the nerdiness. It's not about the rah stuff anymore. So I don't know how I'm sure Bill Parcells is obviously very smart, but how much of a nerd was he? How smart was he with the X's and O's? I don't know. I was 5-6 years old, whatever it was. But my concern is just who does Woody Johnson surround himself with to do this? Obviously the 33rd team, every time Tannenbaum speaks, I lose more respect for him listening to some of the stuff that's been going on. My God, dude.
Did you hear my show this Sunday?
Yeah, I told you that's the one thing I make sure I catch because it's funny to try to listen to him defend this, and obviously he has to because he's the guy who hired this coach, so it looks bad on him to shit on the guy that he recommended. But yeah, man, when you guys brought on Cimini this week, some of the shots he takes at you while he's speaking to Cimini, I forget exactly what the examples are, but so you're saying Jets fans shouldn't all be reactionary babies or whatever. I'm like, dude, do you not see the result? How do you insult Jets fans like that? And you in general, just this has been historically bad. And his only defense is it's year one. And I heard the quote you said, I think on that show, or maybe a show before, but he said in the past, the beginning of the season Jets will lose. The end of the season Jets, I think the beginning of the season Jets might kick the Jets' ass at the end of the season. So those are definitely interesting conversations. But that's your guy, the guy you fired. He's the guy who's leading the coaching search. So I don't know who's in Woody Johnson's ear, but it's obviously been the wrong people for the last 2 decades.
Yeah, I mean, again, Woody has no football context. I think that's clear. He gets fooled by the wrong people constantly. That's the theme of all this, right? Charlie Casserly and Ron Wolf will pick McCagnon and Bowles, for example. He needs to hire, what Arthur Blank just did. He hired Matt Ryan to be the president of football operations. The Jaguars hired Tony Baselli to be their president of football operations. Woody needs a football liaison that is not a GM or a coach, but someone that is the separator between ownership and the football people. And that person is someone Woody could put his trust in that could set him straight and tell him what actually is happening with the GM coach he hires. That's what this organization's been missing forever, but they have no intention of seemingly hiring that. So instead we get the 33rd team. And Joe, sure enough, as Buffalo Jet fan pointed out on Twitter today, the New York Jets have the 33rd pick in the NFL draft. So they have the first pick of the second round this year.
Yeah, by that last second field goal that brought us from 36 to 33, and I was rooting against the Steelers for draft position reasons, because it brought us from 16 to 15. So yeah, thank you Raiders for making that field goal, and that 33rd pick is valuable. There's a lot of teams who will call up and maybe want to trade for that pick, and obviously if there's a stud there, then nab them. So yeah, thank you to the Raiders for beating the Chiefs, and no thank you to the Jets for beating the Falcons, the Bengals, or the Browns.
Unreal. Let's see. Nick, thanks for the super chat. Mike Perez with a super chat here. We're going to get to the film review coming up shortly. He says, how does the NFL schedule work? Shouldn't we get a 4th place schedule? Can't remember the last time we had an easy schedule. Look at the Patriots this year. So the Jets schedule, they are going to have a last place schedule, Mike. The problem is based on the rotation of who the Jets are scheduled to play for their division out of division games, they happen to be getting the AFC West and the NFC North as part of the rotation. Every 4 years, you play every team in a different division. On top of, you will play the fourth place team in each of the other divisions every year. That's why the Jets played Denver for all those years in a row when the Denver Broncos and the Jets were either finishing in third place or fourth place in their own divisions, right? That's how it works. So like the last place schedule, the reason why the Jets are playing a team like the Cleveland Browns this year is because they came in last place in the AFC East. The reason why the Jets are playing the Tennessee Titans is because they came in last place in the AFC East and the Titans were in last place in the AFC South. So this is a last place schedule. Problem is you're playing the NFC North and you're playing the AFC West just based on the rotations of who you play as your non-division opponents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You get what you get in terms of the rotations of the divisions, but like in terms of playing, like who are the teams who are the outliers who aren't in divisions that we are playing? Like the Cardinals are in a division that we're not playing, so they're the fourth place team in that division, so we're playing them. So like those that could have been the Rams or the Seahawks if they were the 1 or 2 seed. The Titans, right? We're not playing that, we're not playing that division either. So instead of the Titans, it would have been the Jaguars if they were up towards the top of the division. So it really only depends, like 2 games a year, 2, 3, 4 games a year, whatever it is, in terms of like where you finish with your schedule. But next year is tough. We'll see what they're made of very early into that schedule, because looking right now, it is definitely not an easy one.
Let's see. Wrong verb. Why do we play Denver again? Because they're in the AFC West. That's fine.
We play Denver all the time, and they were finishing the bottom of their division or towards the bottom of the division for years, and as were we.
And now they have Sean Payton. And by year 3, Sean Payton has him as the 1 seed. Year 2, they were in the playoffs with a rookie quarterback. But hey, we got Aaron Glenn. We're rebuilding, baby. We're building it. It's going to take time. We're 6 years, the Joe Douglas strategy. Give me a hug, Woody.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Nobody gets conned more than Woody Johnson. Nobody.
Yeah, maybe he'll raise season ticket prices again next year. It is crazy, man, with the tickets and all of that stuff, and just some of the lack of the awareness. Like we get robbed versus the Chiefs by the refs, and he's like tweeting out Swiftie pictures and stuff. It's like, what are we doing here? So yeah, the lack of awareness and everything he does is just less than ideal, let's say.
Ladies and gentlemen, a super chat from Boogie. Not only is Glenn a bad coach, he got out-schemed in all 17 games. He says to trust him. I think not. We have an owner who is clueless. I mean, that is incredibly well said. No further comment from me.
Yeah, like the postseason interviews or whatever they're going to do. I don't know if they do like performance reviews. Like, what is his excuse for this stuff? I don't know how Woody buys it, but here we are.
Fighter Jet, you know who also said we're going to not have another season like this? Rich Kotite went from 3-13 to 1-15. Glenn just keeps digging his own grave. Also, the famous Hugh Jackson quote after they went winless and he got the comeback. He's like, we're going to be a lot better next year. This will never happen again. They went from 0 wins to 1 win, and he kept his job and started year 3.
Wasn't that after the whole thing where like they jumped into the lake to like rid themselves of the winless season, and the next year they win 1 game? So that jumping into that lake really worked for them.
Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, he's Joe Blewett. My name is Jake Asman. Hit the like button if you want to enter our weekly raffle for the frame Super Bowl III game ticket, the Joe Namath signed helmet, and the replica Super Bowl III ring. You certainly can. We're going to give away a Jets jersey at the end of the show. So daily raffle for the jersey, weekly raffle for those items I just showed on the screen. Right now, we will do a film review. Let's look at some of these college quarterbacks from the quarterfinals last week. This week, we get Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore going head-to-head. A little Carson Beck versus Trinidad Chambliss. We'll start to look more into Chambliss once we figure out if he's actually going to come out or not. But let's break down some film. Joe, you choose where we start. Which quarterback are we looking at first here?
We'll do Dante Moore. I have about a half an hour left, so I'll do this pretty expedited, these plays. So we'll start off with Moore and Mendoza, just because if we don't get to Simpson, I know a lot of people won't be heartbroken, minus myself and Tank for Ty over there, I'm sure is in the chat right now.
Oh, he just wrote, brother, keep supporting my boy Ty Simpson.
Yeah, man. And again, we'll look into it. If I don't want to say this, but like if he were on Oregon or Indiana, people's perspective of him is different. I know Sabo came onto the show, and we have a pretty similar feelings about the quarterbacks that There is no true like locked number one, and they are all very close in terms of just their like my personal ranking for them. So yeah, I don't think Ty's as far as away as people think he is. Hurt his elbow, 3 games, was a little bit more inaccurate and stuff. But if you actually look at the plays and look at the lack of help he has, the lack of coaching, lack of run game, offensive line, drops by the receivers, etc., it kind of puts the poor performances into context a little bit more. So.
Well, on that note, let it rip, Joe Blewett.
Yeah. By the way, some of the Oregon film was a little bit grainy in this one. This isn't me. But again, I will run through this probably quicker than I typically do just because of a little bit of lack of time on my side. But I'll play the play first. He's going to hit the seam right here to the number 2 receiver in the slot. And looks like they rotate into like a quarters to the top right here. And that's a bender route. So it's going to be a seam route versus like a 3 middle of the field close type look. He reads it properly. Drops back right, middle of the field is open, so he's going to anticipate as long as somebody from the first or second level doesn't carry this number 2, that he's going to hit the seam right here. We have the safety going over, overplaying us a little bit to the sideline and over the top. We have the receiver who bends it to the inside properly. He puts the ball a little bit behind him. It's sometimes it's impossible to know. Okay, was it an accuracy thing? Did he not expect him to bend it as far as he did inside? So it looks a little bit inaccurate. Not going to kill him for that because again, was he supposed to bend it inside as hard as he did, but sees the safety over the top with outside leverage, sees the linebacker not carrying. This is going to be his first read, and he's going to throw a seam ball and hit him. So I like the processing of that ball and definitely get from Dante Moore. Like I said, Jake, I am going to be running through these, so if you want to stop me at any point, let me know. But I'm not going to pause. I'm going to try to get a lot out there. So. Now we're going to have a Hank concept to the top, where it's going to be like a hook route from the inside right here, a snag route, whatever you want to call it, from the inside. He's going to read that first, and he's going to get to basically like curl to flat to the top. The defender right here that I'm circling is going to be more of the conflict. So if he expands right here, as long as this corner is off, you're going to throw the curl. If he doesn't expand, then you're going to hit the flat. But he's going to read the number 3 here. To the top right here first. Obviously, he's not going to throw that ball. Why? There. I'll continue to play it. And this one's relatively simple. I just like as well with some of these guys, and I'm obviously going to start paying a lot of attention to more and even put some of the dumb stuff in because it seems like right now, gun to my head, he's probably the most likely pick for the Jets at number 2. This one is a missed deep ball. And I don't know if they just like tag this on the backside where like, hey, if this safety drops down, we're going to hit the vertical, because typically you're going to read something as a part of the run game with an RPO. It's completely isolated. So it's a little bit interesting with Oregon's offense, but nonetheless, this is an instance where the feet are not great. And this is why he misses this deep ball. More than you like to, tends to step in the bucket a little bit, and his footwork can get a little bit wonky, which actually every quarterback does. Mendoza's footwork is not consistent either, and neither is Ty Simpson. So they all need to work on the footwork a little bit, but we're going to see him miss this deep ball. I forget if it's underthrown or overthrown or whatever it is. Yeah, that one's underthrown. Be in terms of depth, short to deep. So he misses the deep ball there because of the feet. Now, I understand if there's like pressure in his face and not wanting to step into the pressure, but this is obviously a very clean situation for him. He has to drive towards the target here, right? We can't be parallel with the feet there. Bad throw by Moore, missing that one. Slot fade. This is where I think he's definitely the best. It's like fade balls and stuff. He is very, very good here. So I believe it's just a slot fade where the top receiver runs a hitch, and then he's gonna read the slot fade first to the hitch. So he wants this first. I believe it's this receiver. Yeah. The location of this, and we'll see it from the other angle, is again, you cannot walk. Could this be in a better spot? No. With the receiver expecting it back shoulder, you want to throw it to the green grass, you want to throw it to the sideline, you want to throw it away from the defender, and he could not do a better job there. So they're showing a man look before. It looks like it's going to be like a cover one hole. So with that being said, as long as this safety is not like pre-snap getting over the top of this fade ball, he's going to take this matchup. His receivers tend to make these type of catches for him, and obviously this one's in a great location. But as soon as he sees the safety not getting over the top, he's probably going to take that shot regardless. And again, DB over the top and inside, or a little bit over the top and inside. That's a back shoulder ball all day, especially on a slot fade. It's where you're expecting it anyway. And he puts the ball on the money. Like, you cannot walk that into a better spot, like I said. So hell of a ball by him. I believe right there, he's just going to check the safeties and just see if anybody's getting over the top of it. Again, a little bit of a step in the bucket there. Yeah, a little bit of a step in the bucket again. I want to see him drive towards it a little bit more, but they'll go over all the the footwork stuff, or I'll go over some of the footwork stuff in the longer.
That was a dime, Joe Blewett.
That you don't get better than that, legitimately. That's as good as it gets. And I showed that one ball last week, I believe, or 2 weeks ago, where it was an absolute dime and the receiver dropped it. So this is another one where I love the location of this ball.
Real quick, there's a guy who's a Glenn truther in the chat who's driving me crazy. He goes, guys, Glenn's not the problem. I am not going to listen to this. He also wrote, Glenn will be a great coach. Have faith. Do not tell this fan base that someone who's 3-14 is going to be a great coach and to have faith and that Glenn's not the problem. If that is your thought process, please seek help, because we are not going to listen to this. Aaron Glenn needs to prove he knows what he's doing. We don't need to blindly have faith in him. For that, I say this.
Thinking is overrated.
So I'm just not going to think. I'm going to send your ass to the hole, because I, quite frankly, am sick and tired of Aaron Glenn truthers ruining this very show. We will see you later. Goodbye, farewell, hold time.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
Good Lord. On that note, back to the film review with our guy, Joe Blewett.
Risky for Aaron Glenn to be making a birder on YouTube to make comments. I'm surprised he knows technology that good. So this one's we're gonna have a pump to the flat. We're gonna have a post, and then we're going to have like a wheel or a rail route. I'll play it through first. I just want to see something. Yeah, okay. So play action, pump that, and then he's going to, with this read, he's gonna go 1 to 2. 1 the inside to the outside. This safety is driving down on it. He's more inside driving down on this route, at least initially. So Moore is going to come off of the number 1 and get to the 2. It's going to be hard for him to close ground to the sideline right here to this route. With that being said, you can't lead him, because you could lead him into the safety. So I love the fact that he puts this ball short and makes the receiver kind of spin around and catch it in low, because again, this safety's he's in the middle of both of these guys. To put this ball high, it could be an interception, it could be a PD, it could be a hospital ball. So I love the decision. Okay, I'm going to throw that ball nice and low and outside. So it's it doesn't look like a big deal, but the processing of that is very nice for Dante Moore to put the ball where he does. So this is another one where I'm showing some of the smoothness of the step up in the pocket of him. And I think this is the area he's better than Mendoza at. I think he's more reactionary to pressure in a good way. You could be overreactionary in a bad way or reactionary in a good way. Mendoza tends to react to pressure very, very late. He'll get away from guys when he's playing, whatever schools he's playing, NFL level. He might not be as lucky with it as late as he reacts to pressure, but Dante Moore reacts to pressure very nicely and quickly and smoothly, stepping up in the pocket, etc. At times. So I believe it's just a sail concept. Yeah, sail concept to the bottom. So we'll watch it. Again, typically the sail concepts are going to go deep, intermediate, short here. And again, the receiver's, relatively wide open. So it's not like he's making a money throw. But what I like is just the smoothness of the step up and keeps his eyes downfield and finds his target, right? So not gonna throw this ball deep. And then obviously we're looking at a cover 3 here. The curl to flat is occupied by the guy in the flat or more towards the flat. So as long as he doesn't carry and he doesn't expand or gain depth, this is the ball to throw all day. So you like that he hits that and it's open. But with that being said, it's more about the step up in the pocket here. Again, feeling that pressure. You can see that he feels it, gets to the bottom of his drop, pulls the ball away for ball security. I love that. Angles himself out to the sideline as he steps up with that widened step. So he prepares himself to get outside on the intermediate read.
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
Joe, I interrupt your film breakdown because major NFL news. The Ravens have fired head coach John Harbaugh. He is out. And if Woody Johnson has any semblance of a brain, he makes a blank check offer to the former Ravens head coach. This is the moment, Woody. This is the moment. Leon Hess was tired of losing. He got Bill Parcells. Harbaugh is out there, just like Andy Reid needed a change of scenery after Philadelphia. This is the opportunity. Harbaugh is out there. Get him. I'm sure the Giants are going to try. I'm sure other teams with openings are going to try. Woody, this is your opportunity. This is it. You could sell Harbaugh on it's his team. You get to pick the quarterback. You get to pick the direction. You want to bring in your own personnel. you want to work with, this is the opportunity. Go get Harbaugh. Do I think the Jets will do this? No. But again, Stefanski's a 2-time coach of the year. He's available. Cliff Kingsbury, who went to the playoffs with Kyler Murray in one of his years in Arizona and is a great offensive guy. He went out there and he became available today. There's all these qualified, experienced coaches. Mike McCarthy's out there, and now Harbaugh's out there. But we're going to stick with Mr. Accountability, Mr. Trust Me, bro.
I know it's hard to say. Just trust me, have faith in what we're doing.
Instead of getting an actual real coach. But again, Harbaugh's available. Some franchises get to sign him and not regret it and have a real sense of direction. And we're the Jets, and we're stuck with Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, it would be nice, but like at this point, when you have the press conference from Mougey and Glenn, and what's going to happen going forward and all this stuff, like are the Jets really going to try to make that move? Now, is there a way they can like back channel it where, hey, would he be interested? Would he be, if we give him total control and $20 million a year, would he be interested in the Jets? Like, I don't know if that's like illegal in NFL terms or not, but unfortunately, I think he probably goes elsewhere, and the Jets move forward with their staff, which is going to be heartbreaking. Again, I do think he tends to be slightly overrated as a coach over the past couple of years, but still, I'm signing the dotted line for John Harbaugh. Like, I'm not crazy here. I just don't think he's like Hall of Fame level type of coach, like some people may think he is. But yeah, if you give him total control and $20 million, $100 million over the next 2 years, a bunch of first-round draft picks. Is he interested? I don't know. But can you even look into it? That's the problem, right? Because you almost want to guarantee yourself that he signs here before you fire AG, or at least in Woody's mind. So definitely interesting.
Again, it's just like this is what a good franchise would do. You would pivot, realize who's available, and get the guy. But it's so dumb. They're not going to get him. It's so infuriating because Aaron Glenn will be fired at the end of 2026, and we could have had Harbaugh. We could have had maybe Stefanski. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Like McCarthy might not be but might be unavailable a year from now. It's just, it's so frustrating, man. Because you have all these good coaches available, and the Jets are really going to miss out.
Well, you know what's going to happen. He's going to go to the Giants, and the Giants are going to be good because the Bills are good, the Pats are good, the Giants will be good, the Eagles are good. All the teams around us are going to be good. So I can see him going to the Giants.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the like button. Man with a rake is in the raffle for one. Thank you, man with a rake. Let's get back to the Joe Blewett film review here as we continue to break down the top quarterback options for the Jets as they sit with that number 2 pick. All right, Mr. Blewett, what are we looking at next?
Yeah, we'll probably just get to more, and then I'll speed through the Mendoza. I'll probably leave Simpson for another day here. But this is one of just the receiver not helping him out so much. I believe this is just another slot fade right here to the bottom, number 2. And he reads it. He reads it well. In terms of, okay, I have a safety over the top of DB, over the top of a fade ball. I'm going to put this ball on him, let the receiver attack it. Even though like maybe ideally you want it more back shoulder than it is, but it's in a good enough spot. It gets there before the safety gets over the top of it. And it's a ball that the receiver just completely misjudges, isn't able to find it, and then reacts 10 times out of 10 and completely misjudges it. So I don't want to be unfair to the guys of like Moore and Mendoza and not show their misses, where I'm showing the Ty Simpson misses, but they do exist a lot less in terms of the help around him. The shot play all the way, where you go heavy like this, and what he's reading is pre-snap. Okay, this safety, he's high over the top of a post, but he doesn't have a lot of depth. He's only 10 yards deep. So once you get out of the fake, you have to read this safety. Is he getting depth? Is he not getting depth? The safety gains no depth. More comes off of it for whatever reason. Again, he's not sinking there. This is a shot you want to take. This is definitely a dialed up shot play. You're going to read this to the check and release into the flat, or the release into the flat by the tight end, and that's a ball you want to hit. Right. Obviously, this is one NFL. We're hitting this, especially on a called shot play. I get pre-snap, that safety's in the middle of the field, but you have to read the depth, and then post-snap. Okay, did he gain any depth? He doesn't. Got to hit that ball. Instead, we're looking at a touchdown that goes to a fourth down stop and all but a turnover. I like the ball. I like the ball handling here from him, faking like that. But again, you gotta get rid of that ball and throw that one deep. The last play of Moore, so we're ending on not too good ones for Moore, but we're going to run a mesh sit concept here first, and they're actually going to read I believe this ends up being the one to the speed out. So I'll play it first, and I'll go through just the reads. Okay, no, sorry, that's the speed out right there. So typically when you have that speed out attached to it, you're going to read it in a very specific way. The out route, you're going to read the out to the next crosser, to the sit, to the last crosser. So his reads here would be, and they are going to be, checks this quickly. He's outside leverage, comes off of it, but it's going to be 1. And then he's going to get to 2 to 3 to 4 here. The problem is in this instance, just you want to see him be a little bit more comfortable in the pocket and not force the ball. And I'm not sure why he doesn't get to the 1 here, because it's 4th and 2, 4th and 3. Just get rid of the ball to your second read here, because he is open. And even if it was 2 to 3, both of these guys are open for a first down. So hit it. Feels a little bit of pressure in the pocket and forces the ball. More can force situation where, again, if you're looking at this, he reads the 1, comes off of it quickly, smartly, because the guy's outside levered versus an outside breaking route. So you're not going to take that. Then he's going to get to the 2 here. You got to throw this ball to underneath, and I'm playing it frame by frame on purpose. But this is a ball you hit 4th and 2, right? We should hit this. He doesn't hit it. Feels a little bit of pressure in the pocket. Instead of just stepping up and going and continuing to go through the reads, he then forces the ball to the deep sit hook route. There's a linebacker sitting there, safety sitting there, and he forces the ball. Easy pick. Has to get to the underneath number 2 here. What should most likely be the number 2 there. Again, doesn't because of the pressure. I would like him to either, again, throw the ball to the 2 or feel that pressure here and not force the read. Feel the pressure and step up into the pocket instead of just rushing your read and not truly reading that linebacker. So step up in the pocket and make something happen, or just get rid of it when you should have. So that's it for the Moore section. And then I'll get into Mendoza here.
Who had all day to throw, and that beatdown Bama put, or Indiana put on Alabama was something, Joe.
Yeah. But again, and I'm not, I like Mendoza. I just think a lot of it is because of the coach, the running game, the receivers. I think a big part of it's Mendoza as well. But like Sabo, I'm sure said, and I'll probably go back and listen to that one. But I feel like people have Mendoza as a clear-cut number 1. Nobody's even close to him. I couldn't disagree more. I think these guys are very close, and I think Sabo said the same thing, because we came to the same conclusion after not even really speaking about the quarterbacks. We actually started to, and then Sabo kind of like not interrupted me, but he's like, "Hey, let me do this first, and then we'll talk about them." Because I want to see if I can, I want to come to my own conclusion. So this is an incident, and both Simpson and Mendoza do this, where they sometimes just skip the easy first read for 4 or 5 yards here. This one is I believe he runs an out and then like a stop, a hitch, or whatever it is from the number 2 right here. And it's a situation 1st and 10 early in the game. Just take the 3, 4, 5 easy yards they're giving to you playing off here, right? If he is reading, most likely, it's probably going to be speed out to the inside right here. Both of these are open. I know this isn't wide open, but you have a good, 7 yards of separation here. If this is his first read, you can obviously hit it. Even if you don't want to hit that, get to your number 2 right here. You're most likely your number 2. Again, some systems read it differently, so I don't like to speak in absolutes, but you're probably, if it's like a progression base, you're going to go 1 to 2 and then get 3 to 4 here, which I think he does. You're going to see some of the lack of the footwork here, where the transitional footwork from read to read is not good. Again, you want to have your feet aligned with where you're throwing the ball as you're reading it. He gets a little bit wonky under pressure at times as well, but hit the 1 here, doesn't, or hit the 2, skips on both of them. He ends up taking a sack because nothing else comes open. And again, you're gonna see some of the footwork. And I know I'm running through this very quickly, but just a lack of time. I want to give you guys at least a quarterback review. So again, I'm playing it frame by frame. It's not lagging. So he reads the 1 and the 2. He gets to the 3, but you see as he gets to the 3, how he's still like pointed to this side of the field. You want to be more in line with where you would be throwing the ball. So we could see him get a little bit panicky versus pressure, where he's not always perfect versus it. If you think, just take your 1 or 2 that are open. They're there, they're open, they're ready for the ball. Doesn't get rid of it. So this is one where this is 3rd and short. This is one where process versus results, right? So the result of this looks very nice on broadcast to me, but the process, I don't love how he gets here. Okay. So this is one where I think, and there's plenty of people who know football. If you know football, you're going to watch this and be like, okay, like great result, but I don't like, again, how he got here. So this is probably just a clear out from number 1. to the bottom or the deep route. I don't think he actually reads that. It's 4th and short. So this is acting like a rub situation. So you're going to read most likely flat to the hitch right here. And if there's a conflict here where somebody runs into the basically a rub route here, you get this ball to the flat because it's only 4th and 2. Like 3rd and 2. Get the ball there. The rub works. There's nobody to the outside. This DB is high. He needs to, and especially now when it really sets in, this is a ball that if you put this on his outside shoulder, he turns up and it's a first down, right? Like that's a ball you hit. That's his first read. You got to get the ball there, in my opinion, because he's a yard away from the first down. There's nobody within a yard or two of him. If you lead him well, boom, he turns up field first down. Instead, he doesn't throw it for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure why he does not throw that. He gets to the hitch here, the designed rub, and he throws it well on the run and inside, but I don't love how he got there. So call me nitpicky if you want, but that's just how the I think evaluation should work. Like, hey, your first read is open. It's 3rd and 2. The rub worked exactly like it was supposed to. Get the ball there. Doesn't. Puts a nice ball on him to the inside, but don't love the process. Let's see the next one. This is a touchdown. So this one, let's see. I think it looked like just straight man coverage. Maybe there was a little bit. Sorry, I'm getting some. And this one, he's going to read the 1 to the 2 to the 3. And obviously the 1, right, inside breaking route. Inside leverage DB, not going to hit that. He's going to eventually get to the 2, and what he sees with the 2 is a post route versus an outside leverage and high DB. So he's going to put that ball on him on the post. He's wide open. Puts the ball a little bit high. Again, I know I'm being nitpicky, but necessarily as easy as it should be, right? He's wide open. He's having to extend to that ball. Like that's not an easy catch, right? I know it's a little bit. It's the picture quality is not great, but you can see he's like fully extended to that ball. With him that wide open, you do want to put the ball a little bit more on him and not make him make such a difficult catch. Let me just see the feet real quick if I want to mention anything with the feet. Yeah, his footwork's not always great. Like his feet aren't always pointed to where it wants to go. You see how it's pointed more middle of the field, like towards the A, where he's throwing over here. So now he's limiting his hip rotation and getting over the hips and like fully rotating through. So his footwork's not always great. I don't love the footwork here. You can see the foot kind of slides out after because there's a lot of pressure, like interior pressure from the knee on that foot. Nerdy stuff, but it's what it is. But obviously, hey, good read. Want to get the ball there a little bit more accurately. I'll get to 3 more, and then maybe I could speed through Simpson, maybe not. But seam versus cover 3 or versus a 3 buzz. So I'll play it first. I believe he gets to the seam to the number 2, but versus 3 buzz. So he rotates down, he rotates up, which showing cover 3 buzz. They get into the cover 3 buzz. Mendoza's going to read that. And typically again here, you're going to read the 1 to the 2. The 1's going to be covered up. You know you have a 3 buzz. The seam should be open as long as he doesn't expand, but he's taking the inside the inside threat, the number 3 receiver, or who becomes the number 3 receiver, puts the ball in the seam. Good anticipation, gets the ball there. Mendoza's fault. Let's see the next. We have 2 more plays left of Mendoza. This is the second touchdown. They're showing the touchdowns to show you like, okay, these are plays that you should make, right? Play action. You got some pressure. So we short changes of play action. You have like a deeper mesh here. Typically you're going to read the higher route to the underneath route. And the first route is going to be wide open. Now, the thing I do want to mention here, and again, nitpicky, but it's something that I notice sometimes with, I would say mostly Mendoza and Simpson in terms of like sometimes he steps into the throw, sometimes he fades out of it. This is one where he doesn't necessarily need to fade out of this ball and be even and jump throw this ball. I know there's some pressure, but you do want to tend to step into the throws and not start to get happy feet and fade away from balls. Now he's so wide open and he's so accurate here. It doesn't really matter, but just a side note, we don't want to always be throwing a ball like this. I know there's pressure, but sometimes you have to step up into the pressure. First read, wide open, hits him. Cool. 3rd touchdown of the game is so this route. I don't know if this gets jammed up so badly that it's supposed to be what we call what I call blaze out, where it's going to be like a post into an out route basically. But if this was supposed to be a blaze out, it's going to be 1 to 2. If this was supposed to be some type of seam route, typically it's going to be the seam to the outside. I do think it's supposed to be a blaze out that he just changes because of how badly he gets jammed right there. So he's going to read the 1 first. And when he's reading that 1 first, he's going to be reading this DB. Is he squatting? Did he get over the top? Etc. He's a little bit more flat footed. I'm getting so many notifications right now. but sees him more flat-footed, decides to throw the ball about here. So it's an even you're leaving type situation. Trust the receiver to win there. He does, puts the ball on him for a touchdown. So those are parts. Like, yes, I think he had a good overall game, but like, was that a game where I'm like, holy crap, he really outperformed everybody else in these games? I don't know, you know.
I like him. I like more. The more I watch the film though with you guys, like, to me, both guys are worthy of being the top pick in the draft, and it's going to come down to the infrastructure and the coaching they get when they're picked. So right now we have Charles London and Tanner Engstrand and Scott Turner as our offensive coaches and captain accountability as our head coach. So if the Jets could get Mendoza or more, and I think they have to survive a disastrous first year, and then hopefully the coach in 2027 can fix them, like the Bears and now the Titans and the Jaguars, all these examples of top picks needing the right coaching to find success.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not going to do the Simpson one, just I'm pressed for time a little bit. But what I will say is that Simpson game, I didn't watch it and say like, oh my God, he was terrible. There was a few bad plays. The pick he almost had, it was like an arm punt on third down because they weren't kicking a field goal. If he throws a pick, it's the same thing as the punt that they just had. There's a few plays where he skips the first open read and things like that. But what I can tell you from watching that Simpson game was like I was not very discouraged. Like, I didn't watch him like, oh my God, he had so many guys open that he didn't throw the ball. I see some people saying I'm blowing Simpson, whatever. It is what it is. Like, I don't know what else I could do other than show the film and show you exactly why I'm thinking what I'm thinking. If you're going to be like locked into your preconceived notions because of a game or two you watched and some YouTube highlights, then that is what it is. Like, I'm trying to do my absolute best to show you why I think the way I think, and kind of showing you like Mendoza tape. Like, I think, hey, on that broadcast angle where he hits that guy on the run to the inside, like, yeah, it looks great, but the first read was open there. Why not take it on third down? You know, so I don't think Mendoza is the perfect prospect where he can't fail. And then the thing I worry about with Mendoza, I don't know if Robbie spoke about it, but he's very late to react to pressure, where he'll run away from guys again from Purdue or whatever it may be. NFL level, it's not going to work as easily. So he needs to be more reactionary in terms of, okay, there's some pressure from my edges, let me step up in the pocket, or there's some interior pressure where let me roll out. He reacts at the last second way too early. And then with him, was it Signetti or whatever his name is, the coach, like everything. Yeah, everything is schemed up very well. The run game is very good. He doesn't have to get past his first or second option often. He can, but he's not asked to all the time. So I just think if you kind of reorganize where the quarterbacks were, you may have a different you might come to a different evaluation of these guys. If let's say like Dante Moore played on Indiana and Simpson played on Oregon, and then you put Mendoza in with the Crimson Tide. So it's just an interesting conversation. Obviously, we'll be talking about it for another 3 months until draft day. So
it's going to be unbelievable. Joe, excellent job. You're the best. Thanks for coming on. I'm looking forward to doing more of these. Next week, we'll get to review Mendoza versus Moore head-to-head, so that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And if people care at all, I'll do like 5 or 6 plays of Simpson. I can throw that in there as well, and then we can get to the Moore film, to the Mendoza film. We got maybe Beck coming. We'll see what happens with the dude from Ole Miss. I forget his name already. Is it Chambliss? Whatever his name is. Chambliss, yeah. So we'll get the Chambliss if he doesn't go back to school. So yeah, we have plenty of film and prospects to get into, and then free agents. Do we like these guys? Do we not? I like when the guys come in, and I actually like them because I want to be positive because we're already so negative. But I'll be transparent. Listen, if they come in and I don't like what I'm seeing, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, and I'm sure the chat will hate me because you want to just buy in, but. Just have to ask yourself, should we have bought into Andre Cisco? Should we have bought into Jordan Whitehead? Probably not. So I'll do my best to be just completely transparent and honest with what I'm seeing with these guys.
That's what it's all about. Joe, you're the man. Appreciate you.
Yep. Appreciate it, everybody. I'll talk to you next week, Jake.
Joe Blewett, JetX, film guru. Check out the YouTube channel. Does a great job. Let's reset here. For those who are just tuning in, the breaking news, John Harbaugh is out as the Ravens coach. He is fired after 18 years. He was the second longest tenured head coach in the league, behind only Mike Tomlin. I mean, again, if Woody Johnson was a smart owner, the Jets would fire Aaron Glenn immediately and hire John Harbaugh. He is everything the Jets have been chasing for 15 years to finally stabilize their franchise and get back on track. He is everything. Robert Saleh was a CEO head coach. Aaron Glenn's the CEO of the organization. Harbaugh's actually done it, right? The guy was a special teams coordinator who got his opportunity to be a head coach. He's hired multiple offensive coordinators who have been successful. He's won with multiple quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson was considered to be a running back coming out of school. Under him, his coaching staff, he became a 2-time MVP. This is Andy Reid getting fired by the Eagles and going to the Chiefs. This is Mike Vrabel becoming available and going to the Patriots. You see this. He's a damn good football coach. And it will kill me that the Jets are probably not even going to entertain the idea of hiring him. Instead, we're stuck with 3-14, Aaron Glenn. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but trust me, bro.
And I know it's hard to say. Just trust me and have faith in what we're doing.
Joke. Again, this would be the opportunity for the Jets. And forget even just Harbaugh. Kevin Stefanski's a 2-time coach of the year on the offensive side of the ball. He's available. Cliff Kingsbury went to the playoffs with Kyler Murray, has helped the development of Jaden Daniels and Patrick Mahomes, and is an offensive guru, and it would be perfect for Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza. Mike McCarthy's out there. All these coaches that are legitimate, that are out there. The Jets would be able to get one of them. And watch Harbaugh go to the Giants now. Harbaugh will say, get rid of Joe Shane, I'll take the job. This will be like Liam Cohen saying to the Jaguars owner, Shad Khan, last year, get rid of Trent Baalke, I'll take the job. Again, this would be the guy. This would be the program builder. This would be the guy that would at least get the Jets back on track. This would be the Tom Thibodeau for the Jets, right? Thibodeau was the stabilizer, program builder for the Knicks. This would be what Harbaugh would be that to the Jets. This would be, a version of what Parcells was to the Jets after the Kotite disaster in 95 and 96. And Parcells comes in 97 and started to turn the Jets' luck around. This would be the guy. When the Los Angeles Chargers couldn't win, you know what they did? They got Jim Harbaugh to take their job. And now look at them. They've been in the playoffs the last 2 years. Again, what concerns me is, what if the Miami Dolphins get this guy now? And we're stuck with Aaron Glenn. And we're in a division with Harbaugh, Josh Allen, Vrabel. Again, Mike Vrabel was available, and Robert Kraft made a tough decision and fired Gerard Mayo. John Harbaugh is a Super Bowl champion, been to the playoffs a bazillion times, damn good football coach. Would hire a good coaching staff, unlike Aaron Glenn, who gives you Steve Wilkes and Charles London. Unlike Aaron Glenn, who when asked what he looks for in a quarterback after he got rid of Aaron Rodgers, said this.
What do you look for in a quarterback? Like, what's an Aaron Glenn quarterback?
A winner.
A winner is John Harbaugh. Woody, for the love of God, be bold for once in your life.
Thinking is overrated.
Don't think, just act. Get Harbaugh. Now, I know this is not going to happen. I'm just venting. I'll give my plea. They're going to keep Mr. Accountability instead. But when you have an opportunity to upgrade the way Harbaugh would be an upgrade, if you don't seriously try, you're just a fool. And this goes for any business if you have a chance to upgrade. Again, this is the Jets' moment to actually get it right. And people are saying, well, why would he come to the Jets? Why'd Bill Parcells come to the Jets? Here's the selling point. It's your show. 5 wins over the next 2 years. Pick your quarterback. Hire your staff. You'll have final say on personnel the same way, for whatever reason, Aaron Glenn does. It's so dumb. Jay Quest says we have a coach. You damn right you do.
I know it's hard to say. Just trust me and have faith in what we're doing.
Trust me, bro. That's who your coach is, Jay Quest. You love it, man. It's all coaching. Aaron Glenn.
Coaching. It's coaching. Because he can do it. It's just coaching. That's all it is.
Just coaching, man. We have no coaching. We would have a real coach with Harbaugh. He's probably going to go to the Giants, too, because that's just how these things go, right? Ugh. Like, there's so many good coaches available right now. And I have people in my mentions on Twitter right now. Oh, he hasn't won in a while. I'm like, you can't be a Jet fan and argue against Harbaugh after watching what we have watched now. Not even just Aaron Glenn, who's a dumpster fire. We know that. But Saleh, Gase, Bowles. This guy is a proven coach whose teams make the playoffs almost every year in a tough division. Stefanski, I would take. Kingsbury, I would take. McCarthy, I would take. But this guy is clearly the best option that's out there. We have people on social media simping for a 3-14 coach who have the audacity to try and knock Harbaugh. Are you nuts? We have people in this chat who are lacking intelligence, to say the least. Spencer Green says Harbaugh couldn't get him with Lamar. I don't want him. Glenn's fine. If I went after anyone else, Joe Brady would be one. You're saying you would stick with Aaron Glenn over John Harbaugh. That right there is one of the dumbest takes that will ever be uttered in the history of this program. Thank you, Spencer Green, for blessing us with those comments. Also, Spencer Green, you claim that we never agreed to this bet, and that's why it took you months to pay me. Well, we have the receipts of a bet that was made on the air. Ladies and gentlemen, roll the tape. Spencer Green in the raffle for 2 says 100 for $750 on Sunday. Jake, I'm waiting. And no, you cannot go bet the Jets back door. I'm locked for 100 for $750. Let me know. Spencer, deal. I will make the bet with you again. I will give you $750 if the New York Jets beat the Ravens. If they don't, well, then you owe me for the second straight game $100. The latest line on FanDuel, it's a pretty fair bet because it's 13.5 points plus 730. So you want to do 750, you got yourself a deal. Deal.
Mitchell 3-touchdown game incoming, Jake.
Locked it in. There it is, Spencer Green. Receipts. Ladies and gentlemen, we say hello right now to the chairman of the Asmaniac Madness Committee. Boomtown. Hello, Boom.
Oh, Spencer, receipts are fun, aren't they?
Oh, well done, Boom. Well done. Well, I'm glad you called in, Boom, because guess what? You offered a competition in the month of December. For those who weren't aware, maybe new to the show, explain what we did and then what we're about to do after you set it up.
All right. So most people know about the Kyle Clifton inside-outside game where they predict if Kyle is going to be calling from inside or outside. Every month I keep track of it. And for December, I decided, you know what? Let me do a little prize here. We'll see if who can beat my winning percentage. So went through, tallied up everything, and it turns out that 16 Asmaniacs were able to beat my winning percentage this month. Kyle absolutely kicked my ass. I went 8-10 on the month, so 44%. So real quick, we had Bino, Jay Reeves, Jerry Moore, Eli Betts, Ant Jets 82, Yo Holmes, Rich, Chuck Wagon, Papa Jet, David Aaron, Indy Jets, Bill M., Jay Lepselter, Dylan Terriman, Barbarossa, and the great Frank P. all qualified. So the winner, we're going to do a wheel here right now. Whoever wins this is going to win a Canadian care package, which I have everything all assembled here right now, right beside me. Got some treats, some fun things that are going to get sent out to the winner here. So Jake, as soon as you're ready, you can go ahead and roll it.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac Raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Oh, baby. Boomtown, are you ready?
Good luck, Asmaniacs.
Here we go. The winner of the Boomtown Care Package is... Oh, it's going to be the Chuck Wagon. Hey, now.
All right. So
Congrats to the Chuck Wagon. He's the winner, Boom.
Yes, I know that he's on a Discord, so I'll reach out to him. There's going to be a couple extra things that are going to get thrown in for him. He's comfortable on camera, so he'll be able to show off the care package when it arrives, and looking forward to seeing that.
Love it. Congratulations to the Chuck Wagon. Boom. Thanks for all you do. Asmaniac Madness is just a few months away. How are you feeling as we get set for another year of this thing?
Conversations are already starting between committee members. Curious on who everyone thinks will be a number 1 seed and beyond. So can't wait. We still have a couple months to go. Get those calls in as Maniacs. Start sort of placing where you're hoping to get to. Do your best, and we're going to have a lot of fun here come March.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is the chairman of Asmaniac Madness. Boomtown. Great stuff from him. Comments, questions, super chats. Let me get caught up on the super chats. Reminder, Jersey Raffle, end of today's show. Klecko, Martin, Corbett, Revis, Mangold, Keyshawn, and obviously Broadway Joe Namath. Let's see what we have here from the listeners. C writes in, I was okay with AG getting a second chance. Now that Harbaugh is available, you got to do due diligence on that. Glenn should have been fired. The fact that he isn't is insulting to every Jet fan out there. Woody, you have an opportunity to do something that will get every Jet fan back on board. You have an opportunity. You want season tickets next year? You want belief from any detractor that the Jets actually have a pulse, actually have a clue what they're doing? Hire John Harbaugh. It's that simple. This is the Godfather offer to him. You run the organization. You pick the GM you want to work with. Bring in your personnel guy like your brother did when he brought Ortiz with him out to Los Angeles. This is the guy. All right, you want to compete in the same division with Mike Vrabel and Drake May, Sean McDermott, and Josh Allen? This is the guy. All right, he competes in the division now with Mike Tomlin and Joe Burrow. All right, like he's won a Super Bowl. He's been to the playoffs almost every year of his career with 2 different quarterbacks. This is the guy. Get him. Done. I received a text from Joe Beningo. We need this guy. But come on, bro. We got Glenn. Fireman Ed just texted me too. Hire Harbaugh right effing now. Fire Glenn. Give him double what anyone else is offering. Ticket sales and fan base back believing. I mean, this is it. Frankie says the fact that Harbaugh, Kingsbury, Stefanski are all out there and we're going to give Glenn another season is the reason why we're looked at as an incompetent franchise. Wake up, Woody. Again, Aaron Glenn is a terrible head coach. Terrible. He will be fired at the end of 2026. We are wasting our time. A great coach is available. You got to do what's right for your franchise. This is the Gerard Mayo, Mike Vrabel moment for Woody Johnson.
You know, thinking is overrated.
Brutal. Snake Plyskin. Let's face it, Glenn's not getting fired. Yeah, it's probably, again, he did his press conference today, right? But I did see Jordan Schultz say that multiple teams with head coaches under contract are going to be interested in Harbaugh. It better be the Jets. Ladies and gentlemen, this was just sent to me on Twitter by listener at Cadillac. Here's your first look at our fantasy that will probably never happen. Here's your first look at John Harbaugh coaching the Jets. Unbelievable. Sam says, watch the press conference. Mougey needs to go also. Do they say anything new? Mougey could stick around if they got rid of Glenn. Again, hire a real head coach. All right, enough. Marcus says the worst thing about this is we're going to have to sit here seeing all the legit options at head coach, and we know full well we're stuck with Glendinator. Yeah, man, but don't let go of the rope.
Just don't let go of the rope.
Yidis writes in, I always stuck to the who are you going to replace him with? Now I'm on board with the fire Glenn team. Yeah, you should be. You should be on board before Harbaugh became available. I can name you 5 other head coaching options that would be better than Mr. Accountability.
Coaching. It's coaching. Because he can do it. It's just coaching. That's all it is.
Boogie Down says, this is the best time for the Jets to make a move now on a coach with all the draft capital. John will say yes to the Jets. Come on, Woody, just do it. Look at the other openings. What were the openings? Like, what jobs are like definitively better than the Jets? Arizona? Miami? Cleveland? Maybe Tennessee if you love Cam Ward. Maybe the Raiders if you love Mendoza or you love Moore. But again, like the Jets actually have a good O-line. They have a number one receiver. They have all these resources. Like the Jets' biggest problem is we have no coach. A good coach could turn this around quick. Parcells took a 1-win team and won 9 games his first year with the Jets. Look, I get it. It's Woody Johnson, so that's going to be the impediment. But if you got blank slate, total control, like Leon Hess was a terrible owner too. Bill Parcells took the Jet job. Spencer says, "Send me my bucket hat. AG's back." I'm not following what the bucket hat thing is. I don't know what you were talking about. FPP says, "Fire AG 2026, January 7th, 2026." Yeah, I mean he should have been fired yesterday. Let's be honest. Again, the Jets never do the right thing. All these good coaches are available, and you have a chance to upgrade immediately. I can name you 5 experienced head coaches who'd be better. It's a shame. Let's get some calls on this. Comments, questions, super chats. Appreciate everyone who's tuned in here. Again, Harbaugh's available. If Woody Johnson had a brain, this would be the next head coach of the Jets in 2 seconds. Spencer says, I sent the super chat months ago, said I send 50 to Jake if they fired AG. Okay, and? I mean, I never thought he was going to get fired. I think he should be fired. I never said that he's going to be fired. I'm not quite following. If they went winless, he would have been fired. But if you go back, when they made the Sauce and Quinnen trades, I said on that show, he's coming back. Now, it got so bad after that, historically bad, that if there was ever a time for Glenn to be one and done, it was certainly this year. So, again, Spencer Green, I'm not taking your word on anything because you don't make any sense. Tyrone with a super chat. In the press conference, Mougey looks angry. As for Glenn, he has no clue. He sounds like their only plan is hope. If I'm Mougey and I realize that I have to work with Aaron Glenn for another year, I'm doing everything in my power to separate myself from Glenn. I actually liked the tone Mougey had. Glenn was up there just trying to give us nonsense. I liked this from Mougey for what it's worth.
Darren, how long do you think it will take to be competitive, to be respectable?
I believe we can be competitive and respectable right away next year.
What gives you
How
that? You said,
what
gives you that confidence? You said earlier that you're the most confident. You have more confidence now than ever. What gives you the confidence?
Because I've been here a year. I've learned a lot. We've learned a lot. I've got a clear vision. AG and I, like we said, we talk daily on this roster and the vision in this division. And with the assets we have moving forward, the draft capital, the cap space, I know we're going to continue to build and add good players to the team that are going to help us win.
Like, I actually have some faith in Mougey for what it's worth. Now, if Harbaugh's like, I want my own personnel guy, see you later, Darren. Thanks for the memories. But again, you know what annoyed me? And I said this to Joe Blewett. You have that from Mougey, and then that should have been it. Aaron Glenn then didn't need to jump in and remind all of us, oh, I'm a terrible head coach because I was a rookie. So that's the Mougey part, right? And then here's Glenn just jumping in.
And let me answer that also.
No, we don't need to hear from you. We've heard enough from you.
As a rookie head coach,
why are we hiring first-time head coaches? Woody, you're paying this guy $10 million a year to learn on the job. $10 million a year to learn on your dime. What's another $6 million a year to hire John Harbaugh? So he actually is not learning on your dime. He's making you a goddamn professional football team for once.
And same thing as a GM, man, going through the first year.
Keep telling us about your first year when you came in and said this horse shit.
We're here to win now, and we're looking forward to it. So any questions?
Oh, year one, though. He's learning.
And really understanding the landscape of everything. Like,
oh, you understood that, hey, when you're looking for a quarterback, maybe it's not Justin Fields?
What do you look for in a quarterback? Like, what's an Aaron Glenn quarterback?
A winner.
A clown.
Like, that's a huge deal. You know, I will tell you that right now. And speaking of myself, man, there's a number of things I know that I'll be better at. And again, I'm still doing self-reflection, but I know for a fact there are a number of things. And the confidence that I have in Mougey, the confidence I have in our owner, the confidence I have in myself, the confidence I have in some of the foundational players that we have, that's where the confidence really comes from, you know, if that makes sense. And
No, it doesn't make sense. You were inept this year. Inept. No one's got confidence in you other than these assholes on social media who are delusional.
And there's a clear vision. There's a clear plan on how we want to go about doing things. And you match that with Mougey, with our owner, the confidence I have in myself with some of the foundational players that we have.
I think Mougey's looking at him like, God, I got to deal with this.
Self to me gives like all the confidence in the world, man, that we're going to go in the right direction. Now, there's some things we got to fix. Absolutely, we know that, and we'll fix those. We'll attack those the way we have to. But overall, man, I have all the confidence in the world that we're going to do the things we have to do to be successful.
I have confidence that if the Jets hired John Harbaugh, they would be successful because the guy knows what he's doing. It's just, God. It's going to kill me when he goes to the Giants and immediately turns it around. This could be the Jets. This could be the second act for Harbaugh, like what Andy Reid needed in Kansas City. It's so frustrating for this team, man. Sam writes in with a super chat. What faith? Mougey said nothing. They have no plan. I mean, their plan is trust me, bro. We know this.
And I know it's hard to say. Just trust me and have faith in what we're doing.
Now, the plan's trust me, bro. That's the plan. You don't know what you're doing. This is what you said you were going to do this year.
We're here to win now, and we're looking forward to it. So any questions?
Yeah, when does the winning start, right? You said you'd be a team about player development. Who got better on this team, Aaron? Name me one player besides maybe Jawan Briggs who exceeded expectations, who actually improved. We saw development from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. Who's that guy?
Coaching. It's coaching.
What do you mean?
Because he can do it. It's just coaching. That's all it is.
We're going to let this guy now pick the quarterback when, like it's mind-boggling to me. It's tough, man. This is the same guy that was saying this about Justin Fields this year.
And galvanize a group of men. Listen, obviously he's a talented player, and listen, I'm happy that I have him as my quarterback. I really am, because I think the sky's the limit for this player. I really do. Listen, I'm not going to go out there and say that he's the next Joe Namath or anything like that, but I will tell you what, man, he's going to be a good player for us, and I'm excited what he's going to do for us this season.
He got 9 games of it. I thought the Sports Pope, I thought Francesa had a great Aaron Glenn rant on his pod, so I pulled part of the clip. Here's Mike talking about Aaron Glenn.
Jet fan. I am so incensed by what this organization, year after year, tries to sell me. And the attitude that Glenn has taken to try and sell you this stuff, even today, he tried to tell you, don't look at what you watched this year. Don't look at how awful and how embarrassing and how pathetic we were. Believe me when I tell you that I got the answers. Why? Why would anybody for 1 second think he has the answers? I wouldn't. Why? Because he played in this league? Why? Because he was on staffs with guys who were quality coaches? Doesn't make him a head coach.
Like, someone nailed it here. Who said this? Oh, M. Goops. Imagine Harbaugh with all those picks. Imagine what Harbaugh could do with all these draft picks the Jets have. By the way, I'm 99% sure whoever made this image and tagged me in this on Twitter, this is this is Adam Gase's body with Harbaugh's face superimposed. I'm pretty sure that's Gase, but I could be wrong. Jay writes in, Jake is so rooting for Glenn. I am, Jay. All right, because he's the Jet coach. I hope he proves me wrong. Believe me. But I'm not going to sit here and act like that, me rooting for him means I can't be critical when he just went 3-14, Jay. All right? You could defend a shithead coach all you want. I'm not going to sit here and do it. I'm not going to sit here and allow Aaron Glenn's trust me, bro, to just, that's good enough for me. I'm sold. I'm all in. All right? Maybe that's good enough for you. If that is, God bless you. Unfortunately, I think most Jet fans, we need more from Mr. Accountability than trust me, bro. I need more than that. I think most agree with me. If you don't, that's fine. You have a right to an opinion. But don't say I'm not rooting for him. I have no choice but to root for him. He's coming back. Unless Woody woke up and realized, holy shit, we could get a real coach. Everything that Saleh was supposed to be, everything that Glenn was supposed to be, this is who Harbaugh is. He is a CEO program builder. The guy wins. The guy wins. And we didn't have to trade any draft picks to get him. They just fired him. Spencer Green, Spencer, why don't you call in and explain whatever nonsense you're talking about here? I don't remember us making any bet on Glenn being fired and you sending in 50 super chats or whatever you said, memberships, if he was. I've said I don't think he's going to be fired. I'm saying I would have fired him. All right? You claimed that you didn't know if we had a bet locked in and then ghosted the show for the last 8 weeks of the year. You don't get to kind of change the narrative in your own way. When you told everyone yesterday you had no idea about this bet. No idea. When you're on the record making it. Spencer Green in the raffle for 2 says 100 for $750 on Sunday. Jake, I'm waiting. And no, you cannot go bet the Jets back door. I'm locked for 100 for $750. Let me know. Spencer, deal. I will make the bet with you again. I will give you $750 if the New York Jets beat the Ravens. If they don't, well, then you owe me for the second straight game $100. The latest line on FanDuel, it's a pretty fair bet because it's 13.5 points plus 730. So you want to do 750, you got yourself a deal. Deal.
Mitchell, 3-touchdown game incoming, Jake.
Locked it in. What are we doing? Please call in, Spencer. I'd be happy to give you a bucket hat anyway, but I'm not quite sure what you're yelling about. All right, let's get to some calls, shall we? Line them up. Harbaugh's available. We have Mr. Accountability instead for another season. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start it off with the only man that's bold enough to call in today.
Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets!
Really? Mr. Accountability, huh? I don't call that guy Mr. Accountability. I call him Mr. Asshole because he was too busy. Yeah, where was that accountability when, let's see. Let's bring up the Tampa game. Where was that at? Oh, I forgot. He was too busy. Yeah, dancing around like some kind of weirdo on steroids. Oh, let's see. What other games can I bring up? Let's bring up the Miami game. What the hell was he doing? Like he was somewhere in space somewhere, out in wherever. But I'll say this right now. Woody, listen to everybody. Get Harbaugh. Get him now. Give him a good price. I'll tell you what. Sign him. Get him a good deal. Give him a 2-year. $60 million. That should be enough. That should be enough for him because he knows what to do. Harbaugh's been down this road before. He's worked with San Diego. He's worked with Baltimore. Give the guy a shot.
He's worked with San Diego.
He's done it all. He's learned the game. He may not be like his brother, but give him a chance. Woody, wake up. John's out there. Get him. Get him. 60 mil. Get him. Sign a good deal for that guy. That guy's got heart. Give him a chance.
Can someone else please call in? Thank you in advance. Ladies and gentlemen, the Beast.
I got gas right now.
Open phone lines, for the love of God, for anyone who wants to call in and be a part of the show. Friday Jones writes in, please say one thing John Harbaugh does well. He fucking wins games. Excuse my language. Here's the resume of John Harbaugh. Enough said. His quote-unquote bad years are 8 and 9. The Jets have not won more than 7 games in a decade. His bad years are 8 and 9. The last time Harbaugh did not win at least 8 games in a season was 2015. Look at this resume. Nate wants to know what offense does Harbaugh run. Well, it depends on who his coordinator is because they ran wildly different offenses with Monken and with Greg Roman. They let him pick the coaching staff. Friday Jones goes, do we want to win games or Super Bowls? We want to win games, Friday Jones. We want to win games. You can't win Super Bowls unless you start winning games. Spencer Green says, is Glenn adopted? You're adopted, Spencer, and your parents don't even love you, to quote the great Peter LaFleur from Average Joe's Gymnasium. All right, more of your calls right now. Oregon Jets is next. Hello, Oregon.
Hey, Jake, how's it going? Holy cow. Like, this is it. If you want a chance, you got John Harbaugh, go get him. Like, this could not have fallen into Woody's lap any better. You got the number 2 overall pick in the draft. You got 5 over the next 2 years. Thank you, AG. Your contribution was sucking bad enough where we can rebuild this franchise for a long time. Like, I'm driving now, so I'm going to keep it short. But this is a golden opportunity for this franchise to be set up for the next 5-10 years. You got to do it.
I mean, again, he's the best head coach that's going to become available.
Like, I think he has a ceiling, in my opinion, for sure. But in a similar way that we wanted McCarthy just to become relevant, competent, and stable, this is a level above that. So you got to take these opportunities when they come along. Whatever the relationship is between Woody and AJ, like, who gives a shit? This is like a different caliber of individual and a different leader. You got to take advantage of it while you can. I'm going to hang up. I'm on my way to get my kids in the service, but holy shit, you got to take this opportunity. Thanks, Jake.
Well said, Oregon. Well said. Again, I'll give Jet fans, I guess, maybe some hope here. Again, I don't expect Woody Johnson to do this because he would have to, 1, admit he hired a terrible head coach, and 2, he'd have to actually make a bold move. But Jordan Schultz is reporting this. The ripple effects of John Harbaugh's firing cannot be overstated. Several clubs or head coaches currently under contract will also have interest. Again, for the love of God, if you're Woody Johnson, this is the guy. And it's easy to move on from Glenn because you just say, look, Aaron, we love you, but shit, it's John Harbaugh. It wasn't because you were terrible in all aspects of your job and went 3-14. We really like the fact you didn't have any field goals blocked. We just have a chance to get a guy who has been a head coach for 18 years and has won a Super Bowl and always has a chance to win every year. We're just tired of having the longest playoff drought in sports. Look at the teams on this list, by the way. Right? Atlanta just fired their head coach. Arizona just fired their head coach. Vegas just fired their head coach. Tennessee fired their head coach in week 6 this year. And then here are the Jets. Let's keep Mr. Accountability as the playoff drought reaches 15 years and counting. Man, it's depressing. Also, there's rumblings that LaFleur could be available in Green Bay. The problem with that is you'll never get him because the Jets fired his brother. Again, Woody made the mistake when he didn't fire Saleh after 2023. If Robert Saleh was only going to get 5 games in 2024 last year. Right? Mike Vrabel could have been the Jet coach in 2024. He was out there. He had a relationship with Rodgers too. So while Rodgers was a solid guy and all that, like he'd understand. It's Mike Vrabel. Retire 80 already. This is Yeti who normally calls the show. I'll say it, Jake. You're the definition of a dork. Oh, Yeti, I'm sorry my words hurt you so much. I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. I'm not a fan of a 3-14 coach who lied about everything he said he was going to do this year. I'm so sorry, man. If that makes me a dork, yeah, I'm a dork. Okay. At least I'm not simping for a 3-14 coach, Yeti. Don't let go of the rope, though, all right?
Just don't let go of the rope.
All right. You name call me all you want. That's fine. Congrats on the Jets 3-14 season. I know you loved it. I know you were all about it.
The field goal team. Last year we had 3 blocks. This year, we had no blocks.
That makes me a dork, then God damn it, I'm a dork. All right, more of your calls right now. Shout out to everyone who's tuned in. Hit the like button. We got 600 plus in here right now. Let's say hi to Kansas Jets, who's next. What's up, Kansas?
Hey, Jake. How we doing, brother, man?
What's up, dude?
Not much. I just had a couple comments about some of the stuff I was just reading in the chat. Not just necessarily about everybody sticking up for Aaron Glenn, but I seen multiple people say that the Jets job is a bad job. What other coaching job that's vacant is better than the Jets? You have 5 first-round draft picks. You have the chance at one of the best 2 quarterbacks in the upcoming NFL draft. Is there something I'm missing? I know Woody Johnson's a pretty incompetent owner, but don't you think if you just gave John Harbaugh the reins to the entire operation that you don't think that that's going to turn around? I mean, you popped up his resume. What was his worst season?
What,
like 8 and something?
11-5 in year 1.
Yeah, and that's year 1. What are we talking about? The Jets job is not.
I mean, Harbaugh's been amazing. Like he's a great coach. Like again, if you go back all the way in his career, the least amount of games he's ever won was 2015, with 5. So since then, like a bad year for the Ravens was 8-8, and most recently 8-9 in 2021 and 8-9 this year. And again, how many games did Lamar miss this year too? And they started like 1-5. They didn't quit on him.
Right, and they're still 1 game away from the playoffs. Like I don't understand what we're talking about here. John Harbaugh's a good coach. And I do realize that Woody Johnson is definitely way too proud, and he's not going to want to admit he's wrong and fire Aaron Glenn. So we're probably effed in this to begin with. But I wanted to vent because that was just kind of getting under my skin that people would actually think that the Jets head coaching job is not one of the best available. I got to vehemently disagree. But
again, it's a no-brainer, which is why it's not going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is a bummer.
You want season ticket holders to renew, though. I'll tell you what, the Jets got hire Harbaugh. Anyone who's on the fence is renewing.
Yeah, if Jets fans are smart, they're going to cancel all their tickets because, sadly, I think that's probably the only way that Jets fans are going to make their voice heard is you got to cancel them season tickets. Just watch them on TV, go to the Asmaniac meetup, and then just watch from your couch. Probably a lot less heartbreaking there anyway. But thanks for taking my call, Jake. I got to go get some stuff done, but I hope you and the rest of the Asmaniacs have a wonderful day, man.
Hey, great call there, Kansas Jets. Love it. First time you call from the phone, too, I feel like. Normally you call from, your home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's usually my laptop, but I couldn't get it to work. But I'm getting a new gaming PC today, so I'll be able to call in a lot better from that, I would say.
Yep. Well done, Kansas Jets. Great call. Kale says your best bet is Harbaugh taking a year off. Why? So then the Jets will go into 2026 with Glenn. He sucks. He gets fired, and then they can hire. I hate that we have to even think of that as like our best case scenario. Like, oh, let's have one more terrible year with a coach we all know is not any good. It's just so we can then hope that whoever we hire in 2027 can be our guy. Again, obviously, there's the path of Aaron Glenn turns out to be a good head coach, but the odds of that, given the history, is just horrific. Let's say hello to Dom, who's up next on the show. Dominic D'Angelo. What's up, Dom?
What's up, Jake? How are you, man?
Dude, ever since we started having you do social media stuff, you don't call in anymore.
I don't call. Well, today I got back from the grocery store, and I was listening in, and then the Harbaugh news broke, and I was like, holy crap, well, they got to do something here, but obviously we don't think it's going to happen. But I mean, like, and I was in the Aaron Glenn camp like early on and throughout the most of the season too. My big issue was like, as long as the locker room doesn't quit on him, I'm okay with him. But it seems like the locker room quit on him. And then at that point, where is it? It's past the point of no return, it feels like. And so now we see Harbaugh available and we see all these other coaches available. I feel like the Squidward meme where he's like looking through the blinds and SpongeBob and Patrick are running around. It's rough times, man. I want to see Glenn succeed. I loved him as a Jet. He's one of my top 10 favorite Jets probably of all time. But it's just like, it doesn't translate into coaching. It's not showing on paper. And it's very upsetting, Jake. So that's my thoughts on all that, though. It's rough. It's rough, man. This has been a brutal season. So that's kind of, oh man. I think about it too. It's like, I like Mougey a lot. He seems to be pretty competent and stuff like that. And Glenn, who I thought was competent, it just, you kind of look back and it's just like he speaks in generalities and quotes, and there's not a lot of tangible stuff that he was even conveying when he was talking. And obviously it didn't happen on the field either. So just frustrating, Jake.
Yeah. It's brutal. It's like, it's so obvious what needs to be done and we're not going to do it. It's like, it's unreal.
I know. And like the fact too, it's like, we got these quarterback prospects in the mix too, whoever it may be, Mendoza or more. It's just, and if you don't have the right coach to do it, we've seen this song and dance before many a time. And it's, I'm ashamed even to walk around Pittsburgh as a Jets fan right now. It's just rough times. So,
dude, the Steeler fan base, they love an Aaron Rodgers. Is that
they
the
are
vibe?
Well, so it's kind of a mixed bag. People have been up in arms really about Tomlin more so than anything. They want Tomlin gone, like Steelers fans do.
Oh my God, for the love of God, please fire him too. We'll take.
I know,
him.
Right? Fire him. Let's mix it up. Let's really take some action here. But that's how people have thought and felt for the past several seasons with Tomlin. Like, it's time to move on, almost like the Andy Reid, Eagles kind of thing going on. But at the same time, like, I'm so happy for Aaron Rodgers here. It's like, I want him to win everything. I just do, because it's like, you see how much shit he's been through the past several seasons with us. And like, then what Glenn potentially handled with him and how he handled that whole situation, it's even worse. And it's just like, F this whole mentality. I want Rodgers to at least succeed on this. And I love Darnold too, obviously. So I'd be A-okay with the Seattle Green Bay championship, or Seattle Steelers Super Bowl.
My rooting alliances in the playoffs are anyone playing Buffalo and New England, Pittsburgh and Seattle. Like, I would love to see Sam have success. I have no ill will towards him. The Jets did him dirty. Same thing with Rodgers. Was a big fan of his before he was ever a Jet anyway,
Right. Absolutely. Me too. And so I was super excited once he signed with the Jets too, in the prospects of it all, but just doesn't work out. Not with the Jets. So, but that's all I got, Jake. Wanted to call in and touch base. I had the time and I was like, why? I got to do it.
You're the man, Dom. Keep up the great work. Thanks for all you're doing behind the scenes, making our social medias as good as it will ever be, baby.
Hey, thanks, brother. No, and thank you for all that you do. And you're so communicative and genuine too. So I appreciate that as well. So,
ladies and gentlemen, it's our guy, Dom D'Angelo, checking in. Love that. We'll get back to your calls in a second. Super chat here from our guy, Knob Craft. He says, what minority coach would you give the meaningless interview to after firing Glenn if you want Harbaugh? So you can't do the Patriot thing, right? Last year, the Patriots, they knew they were hiring Vrabel, and they did Rooney Rule interview requirements, they put the 2 black candidates on the same graphic. Like, this was the biggest bunch of you know what. You can't do the Patriot thing, right? Like, obviously, if you're going to hire Harbaugh, you're going to hire him. But, like, the Patriots were so blatant in circumventing the Rooney Rule. They're like, here are the 2 token black guys. Let's put them on a graphic and tweet it out. We've interviewed Pep Hamilton and Byron Leftwich. Like, that's ridiculous. All right, leave it. Like, the Jets, if they were smart enough to actually fire Glenn and go after Harbaugh, you can't do this. All right, you can't do. Let's throw the 2 token black guys on the graphic and say check Rooney Rule requirement for Phil. That's ridiculous. So I don't know who the Jets would interview. I mean, maybe some coaches on their staff. Maybe Steve Wilkes gets an interview. The defense was worse without him. I don't know. Charlie the dog groomer is next. What's up, Charlie?
What's up, Charlie?
Hey, it's been a while, hey?
Yes, it has, Charlie.
Yes, it has, Charlie.
Oh, no, Charlie, do me a favor. This echo is going to be a real problem. Turn down the show because I hear myself immediately in the background. There's some sort of echo there. Maybe something with your speakers. JN says, only chance at Harbaugh is if he takes a year off. Maybe. Jack writes in, Woody needs to be sitting at home and ask himself, I'm actually sticking with Glenn. How does he watch his own product and think that's the right decision? I can lie to and say, we're going to do this and that. Again, like when Aaron Glenn is pitching him on like what his plans were and what he's going to do, does he ever give specifics with the owner? Like, is Woody that easily duped?
You know, thinking is overrated.
Unfortunately, I think the answer is probably yes. Good point by M123. Does Woody Johnson even know Harbaugh's available? Man. Also, the nightmare scenario is playing out with Harbaugh going to the Giants. Ian O'Connor says John Harbaugh has a high regard for the Giants job and for Jackson Dart. Of the 6 openings, I believe you might have the Giants at number 1 or damn close to it. As I wrote yesterday, I believe he hurdles Kevin Stefanski as the leader in the clubhouse. Again, the Giants are going to get a real coach and learn from the fact they kept hiring first-timers and it wasn't working, and we're going to be stuck with Aaron Glenn for another season.
And I know it's hard to say. Just trust me, have faith in what we're doing.
Rooting for this team is just it takes a special breed of fandom. We're all nuts. Here's the tweet on the screen from Ian, who's plugged in. According to Diana Rossini, a key pressure point in the Harbaugh dismissal, according to those familiar with today's discussions, was his refusal to entertain any conversations about potentially moving on from offensive coordinator Todd Monken. Shit, bring him to the Jets with you, Harbaugh. Whoever you want to hire. You pick the staff. You pick it. Ladies and gentlemen, Charlie the dog groomer is next. Hopefully we hear him clearly this time. Hello, Charlie.
Hey, sorry, Jake. I actually had you on my my grooming truck's stereo, so I guess it was coming through. I wanted to make a few points. I haven't called in a while, but I do watch 2 times a day, so I send in comments pretty often. But this year was just, I had no hope in this year, so I just said to myself, I'll call, I'll hear your takes, I'll hear everyone else's takes, and just sit back and listen. But John Harbaugh going to the Giants, the potential of that is just having me absolutely sick. The fact that we're going to have to deal with Giants fans just clowning the Jets for the next who knows how long. And the moment I heard it, I said, there's no way Woody fires Glenn for Harbaugh. And we know that Harbaugh is definitely going to have the Giants high on the list, as you just showed. He definitely likes Dart. They have the quarterback set up. Obviously, we have one of the quarterback picks if Dante Moore comes out, but we know it's not going to happen, and we're going to be sitting here with this fool of a head coach for the next year or two, and it just never changes, Jake. It's pathetic.
No, it does not ever change.
And I thank you. Also, I thank you for being one of the few people that talk about the Jets every single day that actually has the balls to say what needs to be said about this fraud of a head coach who doesn't know his ass from his freaking elbow. And I'm sorry, I don't call out people, but like I watch a lot of people, and there's a few people. Richie's killing me right now with the give him a chance. I'm like, oh man, I literally wrote a comment. I'm like, Richie, I love you, but you need to go watch a Jake Asman show because he has rebuttals to every single thing you're saying. I would love for you.
I got good news for you. Richie and I are doing a show together Thursday. Me, him, and O'Leary, Jets Roundtable. So we'll discuss Aaron Glenn then, I'm sure.
He's killing me. He's killing me, Jake, because it's just Richie. How long do you want to suffer, dude? Because people making excuses for this guy is keeping this guy here. It's probably keeping him here longer. Like, if we don't think that Woody's kids are not like watching like Jets media on YouTube. I mean, listen, this generation is plugged in, and we know. And the more we give excuses to this buffoonery, the more that this is going to keep happening. Dude, I don't think it's ever going to change. We're literally like that kid that was outside the stadium. I feel like that. I related to that kid so well when I heard his comments about, I was born into this. And I should have just become a Giants fan. My grandmother was a Giants fan, and I decided to listen to my best friend, who is a diehard Jets fan, saw them lose to the Bengals with Kellen freaking Clemens. And I was like, I like the colors. I'm going to become a Jets fan. Worst decision I've ever made.
It's mind-boggling, man. It is mind-boggling. Hang in there, Charlie. I wish I could tell you it gets better, but I think we're in for it for another year, and maybe 2027 we get the right coach in there.
You can only hope. God help us.
Love it. Also, like Richie's a friend of mine. I love Richie. If he wants to be positive about Glenn, it's his opinion. He has a right to it. I usually am positive too. There's a lot of new viewers to the show who probably don't know me, but if anyone who's been around, like, I'm usually more positive than negative. I can't deal with this coach. All right. Not when this is what he says when he's introduced.
What do you look for in a quarterback? Like, what's an Aaron Glenn quarterback?
A winner.
And then he signs Justin Fields for $30 million guaranteed. All right. Not when he says this at the combine.
We're here to win now, and we're looking forward to it. So any questions?
Not when he's all about player development and he's asked about Will McDonald and condescendingly says this.
The speed last year we saw a lot of with Will.
Yep.
The spins, the coming around the edge. The power that he put on, I don't know if you need the replay if you haven't seen it yet, but he went over him at one point in that. Is that even a new element to his game when you said he added some weight?
Coaching.
Is that now what he can do?
Coaching. It's coaching.
How so? Like, what do you mean?
Because he can do it. You just said he's never done it last year, right?
Not much.
Now you see him do it. It's just coaching. That's all it is.
Yeah, and we had no coaching this year. That's how you are the first team in the history of professional football to not record an interception this year. That's how you're the first team ever to lose 5 games in a row by 23 or more points. And the funniest thing is, anyone defending Glenn, you ask them, what does Aaron Glenn do well? They have no answer for you. Special teams. Great. Chris Banjo, awesome hire. Hey, Chris Banjo, you're sticking around for John Harbaugh as our coach. He can't leave. He's under contract. A good coach would retain him, just like Rex retained Westhoff, just like Mangini retained Westhoff. Westhoff was on Herm's staff, Mangini's staff, Rex's staff. Bram Boyer was on Bowles' staff, Gase's staff, Salah's staff. Aaron Glenn was asked for positives for the Jets. 4 of the things he mentioned, 2 of them were special teams. Great, I could keep Banjo. Oh, the running game was solid. It really wasn't, but okay, I'll play along. Awesome. We'll have that. And then the penalty improvement we're highlighting going from 31 to 23. Again, this coach is an abject disaster, and we're wasting our time. If I'm Woody Johnson and I listened to Aaron Glenn today, I don't know how you're not having second thoughts. You paid him $10 million a year. You made him one of the highest paid coaches in the league. And he's telling you, man, I didn't know what I was doing because it was year one. It was a lot crazier than I thought.
And let me answer that also. As a rookie head coach, and same thing as a GM, man, going through the first year and really understanding the landscape of everything, like that's a huge deal. You know, I will tell you that right now. And speaking of myself, man, there's a number of things I know that I'll be better at. And again, I'm still doing self-reflection, but I know for a fact there are a number of things. And the confidence that I have in Mougey, the confidence I have in our owner, the confidence I have in myself, the confidence I have in some of the foundational players that we have, that's where the confidence really comes from, you know, if that makes sense. And there's a clear vision. There's a clear plan on how we want to go about doing things. And
what is the plan? What is the plan?
You match that with Mougey, with our owner.
Let's kiss Woody's ass because he could have easily fired me.
The confidence I have in myself with some of the foundational players that we have, that in itself, to me, gives like all the confidence in the world, man, that we're going to go in the right direction. Now, there's some things we got to fix. Absolutely, we know that, and we'll fix those. We'll attack those the way we have to. But overall, man, I have all the confidence in the world that we're going to do the things we have to do to be successful.
He should be disqualified for saying he has confidence in the owner. I get it. It's his boss. What are you going to say? But it's just like, oh.
You know, thinking is overrated.
It's funny. The guy who said this yesterday, the guy who said thinking is overrated hired the head coach who said it's not about the X's and O's. I got to get that as a drop, too. Another brilliant line from Mr. Accountability. You know what? Look, I'm going to help Aaron Glenn out, though, because I want him to succeed ultimately. So there's a guy that's available that the Jets could hire to the coaching staff that I think could fix the offense overnight. And I will reveal that candidate right now.
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
The Jets need to hire Beastbreaker 666. He had an interview today with the Jets, apparently. This was just sent to me by a longtime listener of the show. This could be the guy that could get the Jets back on track. This could be the guy that could coordinate the offense.
I got tools. I've been playing football for 30 years on every single video game system from top to the bottom. You want to win games? You got the answers right here. See, I might not be Shane Douglas. I might not be Ricky Steamboat. I might not be Dusty Rhodes. I'm the goddamn Storm. And I know I got the three guys that's going to get me to the top with them. And we're going to do everything in our power. Turn things around. We're going to throw the solid book right out the window. We're going to throw all the garbage that's been sitting there for 15 years. I know where to call a local hitman and get the garbage out. Call 1-800-DUMP. We're going to dump the trash. Everything that we don't want, it goes in the trash. We're going to change a few things around. Playbooks will be re-advised. Discipline will be re-advised. We will reinstall toughness. We're going to make our men a little more stronger. That means no more playing around. And when you get in this building, turn your fucking phone off, work with your teammates, and be respectful with your peers, your teammates, your coaches, and your advisors via etc.
Hey, what's in your suitcase here, by the way?
No, that's all AI bullshit. I'm gonna now let's get down to the proof. We're gonna win games the old-fashioned way. Hit people in the teeth, bleed a little, so what? If you have blood, so what? Suck it up. We'll bandage you up. Just put the bandage on, suck it up. Don't worry about it. Just think of it as another day. You're bleeding, so what? Just clean it up a little bit and get back out there. Don't worry about it. It's pain. So what? Suck it up. The pussy shit comes to a head. And as of right now, from here until the next 8 months, playtime's over. Get Harbaugh, and we're gonna get more. We're gonna get the best men we can get I want men with an attitude and men with a desire to win.
Hey, I got just a guy on the line. He is a man's man through and through. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on a manly man.
Chicken with pasta is worse than peanut butter with sandwich.
You bring me this schmuck. This guy has no brains. His brains were left in the pile of ragu. I got 3 other men that are powerful than this waste of space. This is like bad spaghetti that didn't come out correctly with the bad pesto sauce. I know.
I feel a lot of ethnic overtones here. I feel like we're tiptoeing the line here.
I know where standards stand at.
All right. You know where standards stand at. I can't argue with that. I feel like we're tiptoeing on some ethnic slurs here.
You want tiptoe? Go watch ballet. If you want tiptoe, you go watch ballet. I don't like ballet. That's not my style. That's not my work. You want real dancing? Watch Real Dancing with the Stars. Or learn some Spanish. Not that hard. Not that hard.
What's wrong? What's wrong with ballet?
Boring. Too much.
Right.
Too much.
Oh my God. Maybe there's hope for the Jets. Hold on. Actual news here.
Give me some people I can work with.
Stand by.
Let's go.
Adam Schefter says in the first 45 minutes after John Harbaugh was fired this afternoon, as my dad is calling me in the middle of the show, Dad, stop it. In the first 45 minutes after John Harbaugh was fired, his agent Brian Harlan said he's received calls from 7 NFL teams expressing interest in his client. There currently are 7 NFL head coach openings, including Baltimore's. That means a team that has a coach under contract reached out. We can only hope and pray that team was the New York Jets.
I want to go there, right? Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I hope it is. And if we have to pay tampering charges, we have whatever. I don't know the rules when we have a head coach, but I'm willing to break those rules to get Harbaugh, right? I'm with you. But there's going to be how many teams have a coaching vacancy right now? 4 or 5 teams?
Ooh, Schefter says at least 1 and likely more. Okay, now we're talking. Woody, get off your ass. I won't even address Woody. Christopher Johnson, you have common sense. You are smart. I met you. You were impressive to speak to. For the love of God, please get John Harbaugh to be the coach of the Jets. For the love of God, do what is right for this fan base. I will buy season tickets immediately if John Harbaugh is the Jet coach. I don't care what they do the rest of the offseason. I am buying season tickets if John Harbaugh becomes the Jet coach. Done. You have me. Sold.
I think it would be great. I'm all for it. My only question is why would he take this job, right? The head cheerleader who can get any guy she wants doesn't date the fat slob, right?
There are some GMs that are dumb that maybe don't want to succeed power to Harbaugh. See, the Jets, you're the running the show, John. This is your organization. Is Joe Shane going to recommend John Harbaugh if he knows that he's not going to be able to have power? Will he steer the organization towards Kevin Stefanski instead and say, hey, we need an offensive guy for Jackson Dart? There's a lot. Harbaugh's the best candidate, but there might be some teams with ulterior motives. Remember, Atlanta, their GM didn't want to hire Belichick because he knew he'd have no power anymore. So he steered them towards Raheem Morris instead of hiring Bill Belichick. So there's a political aspect to all this too for these GMs and for these different organizations. That's where if you're Woody, you're Chris, holy hell, for the love of God, blank check, you run the show. Jets selling point is 5 first-rounders over the next 2 years, a gazillion amount of cap space over the next 2 years. Offensive line's already in place, number 1 wide receiver, good running back room. For the love of God, please get this done.
I understand the selling points. I do. Is this a good organization that you think a good coach with options would choose? Be honest.
Well, obviously, the answer would be no based on recent history. But Robert Saleh was considered the top candidate. He picked the Jets. Aaron Glenn was considered one of the top candidates of the cycle a year ago. He picked the Jets. Bowles was a top candidate. He picked the Jets. So while these guys ended up not being good head coaches, it's still New York. It's still one of 32, and it pays a lot of money. I think there's a selling point if it's done properly. Aaron Rodgers picked the Jets.
Yeah, that made no sense. He did, but it is one of 32, right? And I get it. And a first-time coach might take it, but this is a guy. If Harbaugh sits out a year, so what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't think he's in any rush. He can get any job that becomes.
His brother didn't want to sit out a year. His brother left Michigan and wanted to be a head coach in the NFL right away.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm not. I don't think it's as easy as you make it sound. I don't think you just fire Glenn today.
It's not
Harbaugh tomorrow.
I don't think the Jets are going to do this, but like through back channels, they need to be like, hey, if we're going to go through with this, like we need to know you'll take the job because we're not going to fire Aaron Glenn unless we know we have you.
Look, I know this is a stupid question because you're for firing Glenn like I am. But if I said to you, you could fire Glenn and there's at best a 50-50 shot that you could hire Harbaugh or end up with nothing. Would you make that? Would you roll those dice? I mean, you would because you want Glenn fired, period. And so do I.
Wait. My option is either Harbaugh or just
or you got to go find
slate.
another head coach. You're out there. You got to start the head. You might get Harbaugh. You got a 50% chance you get Harbaugh. 50% chance you got to.
I'm pressing the button. Yeah. Who cares? Who cares?
I have to because you want Glenn fired.
Look at the amount of other coaches that are out there, right? McCarthy is still available. Kingsbury's available. I could give Clint Kubiak a chance if we want the bright offensive guy. There's another experienced coach out there that I'm forgetting. It's Harbaugh, it's McCarthy, Stefanski. I'll take any of these guys.
I'm with you. But we want Glenn gone anyway, so it's kind of like whatever we bring in.
What I've noticed is even some of the Glenn truthers are like, yeah, if they could get Harbaugh, like I get firing a 3-14 coach.
Well, if you can get Harbaugh, you just get Harbaugh. I'm surprised that Baltimore didn't try to trade him get something out of it. Like they just fired him. I'm a little surprised.
A down year for Harbaugh was 8-9. The Jets haven't won 8 games in 10 years.
I would, I'm willing to. I would fire Glenn. Oh, I would have fired Glenn yesterday, but I'd fire Glenn today and try to make the move on Harbaugh. If it doesn't work out, there's other coaches we can pursue, all of whom I would rather have than. Like if I said rank these head coaches in order that you'd like to have them: Harbaugh, Cliff, McCarthy, Glenn. You'd put Glenn last, right? Definitely, you would put Glenn last. So,
dude, if we're doing a draft of coaches in the NFL, he's the last pick in the draft.
So I'm with you. Like there are other coaches who are qualified that even if we don't get Harbaugh, we could still end up with a better coach than Glenn. So
correct.
I'm with you. I just like. Maybe you weren't. It just seemed like the way that it was being pitched is like, well, we have 2 choices: Glenn, or we fire Glenn and hire Harbaugh. And I'm like, it's not that easy. It's not that simple.
Right. I'm just hoping, based on this Adam Schefter tweet, though, that the Jets are among the teams that reached out.
There could be 4 teams without a head coach and 3 teams with a head coach that reached out to him, and now we have a 1-in-7 shot of landing him. I don't think the job the Jets offer is particularly attractive. It would come with a quarterback you get to choose, and it would come with a line and a lot of draft picks. Probably the best draft capital in the league, right? We probably have
the best draft capital in the league over the next 2 years.
There's upside to it
and sure. Resources. The Jets have more cap space and draft capital than any team in the league over the next 2 years. That's why it's so dumb to retain Glenn, who we all think is going to get fired after 2026 anyway, when you have a chance to do the clean reset right now and let that guy you bring in be able to build the team in his image and not have to fix whatever they tried to start this offseason.
No, I'm with you. Does Papa Steve Asman, does he want to talk about this? Is that why he called you? Does he want to talk about this? Do you not know you were live?
Yeah, actually, you know what?
Steve Asman should call in.
Let me vet this voicemail here.
It's not urgent, is it? He always wants to talk about.
All right, here's Steve Asman's voicemail. He couldn't just call in with this. He had to call me and interrupt the show.
Maybe the Jets are trying to get some. Now that they fired the Baltimore coach.
Tell him to call in the show. We can have this conversation on the show.
There's only 6 teams fired their coach. Maybe the Jets are trying to get smart. I doubt it. I doubt it even come here. Bye.
Thank you for that voicemail, Dad. Yeah, I mean, again, this is what a smart organization would do. This is why I don't think Harbaugh will be the Jet coach.
No, I think Aaron Glenn will be the head coach. I don't think Aaron Glenn's going anywhere. I'm just like, I think it is what it is.
Let me ask you this. Do you trust him?
Glenn? Of course not. You know I don't trust Glenn. Of course
Why? Not. He's asking for your trust.
Because trust is based on past performance. Your past
And I know it's hard to
performance
say. Just trust me, have faith in what we're doing.
Trust me, bro.
Trust me doesn't add any value. It's not a value add. Trust me, I'm going to climb Mount Everest. No, trust me. It's like that doesn't add any value. You haven't. Why would I trust that you're going to? You might as well say nothing. Really, trust me is not a value add. It doesn't add any value.
Yeah, this is tough. I mean, I don't trust him.
No, I don't think. I really don't. Even the people that want to keep him, it's kind of just a roll of the dice. I don't think even the people that want to keep
the people
him,
that want to keep him can't name one thing he does well. Someone said to me the other day, his challenge success rate. I'm like, what?
Was it good? Was his challenge success rate good?
I think they're like 3 or 4 on challenges this year. Like, come on.
All right. And that doesn't even come from him. That comes from upstairs, honestly. Like the coach just gets the information and then throws the flag or not. Most of that comes from upstairs, not from the head coach. He's not the one watching the replays. So
it's a tough one, Gary. It really is.
I got nothing. I got nothing else for you, Jake.
All right, Gary. Well, I'll tell you what. Don't let go of the rope.
Just don't let go of the rope.
Couple last super chats, then we'll get to the raffle. I've talked enough today about this miserable football team. Kyle Clifton in the house. Kyle, I don't know if you were watching live, but Boomtown came on and rewarded the winner of the Kyle Clifton Inside Outside Challenge for the month of December. And it was the Chuck Wagon who won. So check that out if you're tuned in late. The guy Woody must have been doing 4 years of constant Martinez via a funnel at Arizona State to keep this guy. I'm disgusted by the incompetence. This one is over my head, Kyle, but I appreciate the super chat. Sean says, we have a word salad coach. He just gives you slogans.
Just don't let go of the rope.
Coaching. It's coaching.
What do you mean?
Because he can do it. It's just coaching. That's all it is.
We're here to win now, and we're looking forward to it. So any questions? We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're shit.
It's brutal. Carlos says, I hope that Woody wakes up, smells the coffee, and makes a pitch for Harbaugh. I hope, Carlos. By the way, Carlos, your raffle prize was sent out today, so you should get it soon. Appreciate you as always. I mean, maybe a year from now, Tomlin's available. The Jets could get him. God, I would kill for Mike Tomlin. Oh, my God. Spencer Green, hell with Harbaugh, call and trade for Lamar now. What are you giving up for Lamar, though? That's the thing. And, like, who's coaching Lamar? Charles London? All right, home stretch here. Dirty's next. What's up, Dirty?
Yo. I have a hunch that one of the main teams that are reaching out that still have a coach is Miami. I don't think they want.
Yeah, because they technically have a coach, but it feels like that's very much like he's not going to be there. God, it would kill me. Imagine having to deal with Harbaugh in Miami now and Vrabel and McDermott with their quarterbacks. It's just, but we got Aaron Glenn. Don't worry.
Yeah, you know what I didn't like about the press conference today too was the fact that every question that was asked, Aaron Glenn comes in and starts talking and would interrupt our GM, so you could tell who's running the ship. And even when the question about Breece Hall that's coming in, or do you plan on keeping Breece Hall? And even Mougey was like, are you talking to him or are you talking to me? Which clearly tells me you are not the alpha. You are not making the decisions. This is Aaron Glenn's ship. And he says, I think he's a great player. We're trying to keep as many good players as possible, which means you're not making the decisions here. And that scares me again, because that has been the problem over and over and over again. So it's just the same routine. You just hang on for dear life. And I guess, don't let go of the rope, right?
Don't you dare let go. If you even think about letting go, Dirty, you're out of your mind.
Just don't let go of the rope.
Brutal. Trust me, bro.
And I know it's hard to say. Just trust me, have faith in what we're doing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Faz is on the line. Paul, I don't know if you're aware, but you won a raffle prize on the first show today, a signed Don Maynard football, baby. I was waiting for you to call in to tell you because I didn't think you were watching. And I need you to email me your address, and I'll get it sent out to you this week.
It's about damn time. But yeah, baby, I'll take it.
finally
Maynard's
won.
a baller, baby. Maynard's a baller. I love it. Sorry, I was eating, man. All right, that's great. Yeah, I got to email. I don't know how to. What do I do? How do I look you up?
Just asmanjake@gmail.com. Send me your name, address, and I'll get it sent out to you.
Appreciate it, man. That's so great.
You
Finally,
deserve it, bro. Thanks for all the support. Glad you won.
Thanks, man. No, it's great. It's great. Even though it's a pipe dream, I'm still gonna the whole Baltimore coach thing. The one thing it says to me is Lamar Jackson's not going anywhere. I definitely think that there was a bad falling out between Harbaugh and him, and they had to pick who they were going to go with, either Harbaugh or him. I think they chose Lamar Jackson because that sounds like that's been a heated debate for quite a while with the two of them. And just for a humor standpoint, call me crazy, but I get worried with the older coaches not being able to fit in with what goes on right now. But like you said, that guy's never had a losing record. Yeah, like how do you get rid of a head coach like that? Baffles me because I don't know. To me, it's like
stale. Like we saw this with Andy Reid in Philly, but it's not, these things happen, right? Like good coaches sometimes do become available. Like the Niners had a falling out with Jim Harbaugh after he took them to 3 straight NFC title games and they went to a Super Bowl. But here's the problem, Paul. The Giants are expected to emerge as the favorite for Harbaugh. Again, the Jets never do the right thing. So now the Giants are going to get the best coach on the market, and the Jets are going to keep a guy who is so clueless and will be fired a year from now. We're just wasting our time.
I couldn't agree more. And reality is that's why to even entertain it would just kill me inside. But if he goes to another place like Miami or even the Raiders, to me, he's selling out, just wants to fade out into the sunset and get paid for another couple years and enjoy the nice weather because you're just not going to win in those organizations. But I do believe if he went to the Giants, he would be a great fit there. And let's be honest, if he came here, it'd be a shit show somehow. I mean, it's just, why do we waste our time? And why would he come to our crap organization and, like you just said earlier, have to deal with 2 other damn good professional football organizations in the New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills, right? So who are we kidding, my friend? But I'm so psyched I won. Asman at, what was it? I got to write it down because I'm going to reread. What's the...
AsmanJake@gmail.com. It's in the description for the
Too
show.
easy.
Paul.
Thank you, brother. Thanks again, man. Appreciate it. And talk soon, bro.
You got it, Paul. Appreciate you. All right, I'm counting raffle names here. Let's get to our last caller before the raffle. He's a man that joins us down under. Craig in Australia, the final word. Hello, Craig.
G'day, mate. How you going?
Good day, mate. What's up, Craig? Happy New Year, by the way. I haven't gotten a chance to speak to you yet in 2026.
No, look, you've been a busy man. You've had a lot to rage about. Completely understandable. Lots of people to deal with. One question though: does Aaron Glenn understand that this rope for me is 10,000 miles long, and I'm gonna have to let go at some stage? And I think with the season being over, can I let go of it? Can I let him wind it back to all that distance back to New York? Because I don't know about you, but I'm pretty relieved that things are over. And I even have to confess, I have not watched most of the last game. I don't know if I can bring myself to do it. Should I watch it? What should I do?
You missed nothing. Don't do it to yourself.
No, look, that's all right. Nothing. The real question is, like someone like Jim Harbaugh, would he want to come here? Which coach of the available potential coaches, which ones would actually want to come to the Jets, do you think?
Well, there's so many good ones. I think one of them would take it. Look, I don't know if Harbaugh would want the job, right? He might just say, Woody Johnson's terrible, no way. But, like, again, the selling point is that there's no team that has more resources over the next 2 years to build a team than the Jets. Picks, cap space, you're going to get a quarterback. You have all you have 5 ones over the next 2 years. None of them need to be used on an offensive tackle. That's huge for teams. Teams, like, if you're evaluating rosters, you're going to start. We got maybe a
that's my son. Relax. Everyone take it easy.
Like, you're going to look at quarterback, or do you have a path to get a quarterback? you're going to look at like offensive tackles, like how's the offensive line. You'll look at wide receiver. You'll look at some of the key premium positions like the Jets. I do think with better coaching actually have 2 decent pass rushers. They're going to need to add to that. Like there's an ingredients here to actually be successful with good coaching. That's why it's a joke they only won 3 games and started 0-7 when they were trying to win, because there is more talent than what the perception of the Jets is, and there's a legitimate path to get a quarterback.
Well, hopefully, look, we're not getting a different coach, are we? I think it's pretty.
No,
safe
I
to
don't think
say.
so.
No,
That'd be smart. We're going to stick with a guy who'll be fired a year from now.
Yeah, look, it would have happened by now, I think, if it was going to happen. So, not that anyone thinks it's going to happen anyway. So, look, we can go into the off season and chill. There is good news. I'll be coming to the USA in May, all things being equal. I've got so many people to see on this trip that I'll have to rent a car to stop and see everyone. I'm just going to do the big drive from DC to Manhattan and catch everyone along the way. I believe I'm even going to a barbecue at Dre Day's house. That's going to be epic. That'll be definitely one of the highlights. And I believe we've got a meetup planned for Citi Field in the middle of May, organised by Nate. So everyone keep an eye on that. But stay strong, my friend. Just obviously a quick question: Is my house okay? Is my neighborhood? Is everything all right in my neighborhood? Is anything I need to know?
Things have never been better. Just spectacular here.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I'll keep you updated. Thanks as always, mate. Look after yourself. All right.
Craig, you're the best. Thanks for all you do for the community. Love Craig checking in there. Adam says Jet fans attacking Jake have serious Stockholm syndrome. I mean, if people are upset that I'm advocating for a 3-14 coach who sucks at his job to be fired, if that makes me crazy, then damn it, I'm nuts.
Just don't let go of the rope.
Again, my analysis on Glenn is based on history and my own eyes. One last time, I will say this stat on the show. Over the last 25 years, there have been 29 coaches that won 4 or fewer games in their first year. Only 2 of them ever won a playoff game. 2 of the 28. Zach Taylor, Dan Campbell. One had Ben Johnson and has not done anything since he left. The other has Joe Burrow. I don't even need to get in the fact Glenn can't hire good coaches. He can't develop a quarterback. He doesn't deploy any schemes. He can't develop players. He's atrocious at clock management and in-game decisions. He's just not a fit. Good guy, good assistant coach. Respect the hell out of him for the player he was for the Jets. He's not a head coach. And you're not insane for saying that. He's not. And I hope he proves me wrong. Again, I hope Aaron Glenn turns out to be an amazing coach. Believe me. Anyone who thinks I'm not rooting for him has no idea how this YouTube thing works. This show does way better when the Jets don't suck. And they've sucked the entire time I've done the show, but in moments where we've been excited, where there's been a winning streak, right? They started 2-1 last year, or they won the 5 straight in 2022. They were 6-3. Like, you have no idea how desperately I'd love for the Jets to be good. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like a coach who's lauding field goal protection is ever going to be good.
The field goal team. Last year we had 3 blocks. This year, we had no blocks.
Like, there's just no scenario where this works out. I don't see it. Trust me, bro.
And I know it's hard to say. Just trust me, have faith in what we're doing.
Okay. Okay. Man. All right. Let's get the raffle together. We got names to read off to spin the wheel. Some super chats here. Curly says, forget the 4 wins. What is Harbaugh's field goal protection record? He's a former special teams coordinator. It's probably very good. Dominic says, I won it on the raffle. He's in for 1. Thank you, Dominic. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to spin the wheel of champion, shall we? To do that, we bring on only one man who's up for the job. Let's say hello to the beast.
How you doing, Jake? I can see you had a really rough day. I like this John Harbaugh guy. Let's see if we can get one. You know what? Enough of all that today, because you look like you've had a rough day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to spin the 2026 Wheel of Champions. Now, let's go to the wheel, close it out with an ooh, yeah. Dig it.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac Raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Ah, there it is. The Wheel of Champions. Let's give away a Jets jersey to a lucky Asmaniac. If you win, it's simple. AsmanJake@gmail.com, your name, your address, the player you want the jersey in, and the size. Sean says you need an Asmaniac Trust Me Bro shirt. Maybe we'll work on that. All right. Good luck to everyone. Only one can win. Ladies and gentlemen, you're a winner. We find out right now. The wheel is spinning. Who better than Janice Jet? She had the most entries, and it's a well-deserved winner. Let's go, Janice.
Let's go, Jets. Let's go, Jets. Let's go, Jets. Let's go, Jets.
Janice, you're the best. Congratulations. Thank you for all your support. Hopefully I'll get to see you soon. It was great to meet you down in Tampa. Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, that does it. Great show. Thank you to Joe Blewett for joining us. Sabo was on with us live this morning, reacting in real time to the Glenn presser with Mougey, or as Beningo used to call him, Muhe. That does it. We're back tomorrow. We'll have Nick Shine on in the morning. Jeff Parles in the afternoon, assuming he's good to go. I'll confirm with him later. I'll leave you guys with something that I think should be played in desperate times like today. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back and enjoy greatness. That is Brigga versus Gary.
You said people walked on the moon, correct?
Yeah.
Prove your claim.
It's not my claim, it's history's claim. You're an ignorant person. I was there. I know what went on.
You were on the moon?
You just don't believe it.
Give me the evidence that people walked on the moon.
You don't make any sense.
All I've asked you for is evidence.
You don't believe in achievement.
This is irrational. You're acting like an irate 5-year-old.
Listen to me, big mouth.
Dave Brigga, walk like a man. It's not my claim. It's not my burden.
You said you went to college. They teach you nothing?
Shut up.
Don't tell me to shut up.
This is ridiculous.
You're ridiculous.
You can't have a rational conversation. You can't shut your mouth
What's
for 5
rational?
seconds.
You're just a denier.
How does me knowing the name of the 3 people who died on the Apollo prove that people walked on the moon?
That itself doesn't prove it, no.
Prove your claim that people walked on the moon.
Men don't die for no reason at all.
How does men don't die for no reason prove that people walked on the moon? Your evidence is that you were alive when someone claimed to have walked on the moon.
I was living then, yes.
What does that prove?
I believe in achievement. I believe in a space program.
You believe in achievement. Therefore, people walked on the moon. That's your argument?
I believe people didn't lie to us like you.
I believe in achievement. Therefore, people walked on the moon?
Go read the history. Go look at films. I have books.
Then this should be easy for you. Prove that people walked on the moon. You've done all the research. This should be easy. It's not my burden.
Buzz Aldrin, in his mind, had to calculate the exact landing. You believe it was a cover-up?
I don't believe the claim that people walked on the moon. That's it.
I have to prove history, but you don't have to prove anything. Go take some more headshots. You need some.
Bim boom boom bim boom bim boom boom ba bim boom ba bim boom ba bim boom boom bim boom bim boom boom ba.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.